Look at Brother Brandon trying to keep a straight face because he was paying attention to the red light.
You know it, because you hit that button in a heartbeat and say something crazy and try to catch us. Oh, we're live.
Listen to me. There's nothing to catch. You know why we here. You know what we here to talk about. We're not gonna waste any time, man. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Wrestling Realm Now podcast, WrestleMania 40 Fallout show. You already know what's about to come next. Let's go.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes!
Superstars WrestleMania version. Ooh, welcome to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. Now, you can watch all of our Wrestling Wrealm content anytime on youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm. Follow us on all social media platforms, including Instagram, Threads, X, and Facebook at Wrestling Wrealm. Like, subscribe, and engage in the conversation with us. And you can download all of our audio content anytime on Anchor, Stitcher, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Watch us and subscribe to our Twitch channel at The Wrestling Wrealm. I am your host, the man that is exhausted from a long week of surprises in a new era. The big fella, the big dog, the realness himself, the real Dwayne Allen. He is your host, Brother Hugh. Super producer has a third, A to the S, T to the H to the E, 3 to the R, through the D, has a third in the building. Today, he is your host, not just any guy, but the guy, the curator of Brandon, the guy, Mr. Belt King himself, in the building once again, fresh off WrestleMania weekend, and he is also here. He is the man, the myth, the legend, the heart and soul, the creator of the Wrestling Realm, the man who just can't stop being a heel. Ooh, yeah. You can imagine who I'm talking about. Brian H. Waters. Brian H. hasn't been the face. He hasn't been a face since Mr. Main Event days. Anyway, in the building today. Welcome to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast. And listen, the fact that you're here, I want to give you a very, very special offer. Shop now at WrestlingWrealm.com for all t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more. So for all Wrestling Wrealm apparel and merchandise, you can head over to WrestlingWrealm.com, and that is where you can find it. You can buy a t-shirt, you can buy a hoodie, you can buy a jacket, you can buy a mug, and so much more to support the brand. And guess what? Maybe just show the world that you are a proud wrestling fan. It's because, ladies and gentlemen, we are proud wrestling fans as of this weekend. And not only are we proud wrestling fans, we also have a Patreon channel. So for all exclusive shows and bonus material, subscribe to our Patreon channel at patreon.com/the_wrestling_realm. Like I said, for all exclusive shows and bonus material. That's right. For all those WrestleMania and Wale Mania stories that you will not hear on this live show, you may hear them there. So you can subscribe to our Patreon channel for just as low as $1. We have multiple tiers, and guess what? We have so much more to come. So please be patient with us as we continue to build our Patreon channel. But while you're there, you can check out Brandon Just Thoughts, and coming soon at some point, I'm assuming, Realness Reacts, and so much more. But yes, patreon.com/the_wrestling_realm for all exclusive shows and bonus material. Now look, WrestleMania may be over. That is true. But there is so much more coming up. We are entering the spring season, and before you know it, it'll be SummerSlam. But until then, do yourself a favor. SeatGeek has partnered with the Wrestling Wrealm, and they have given us our own personal promo code to help you all save $20 off your next pair of tickets. For any one-time purchase of $50 or more, head over to SeatGeek.com and use promo code Wrestling Wrealm. 2 W's, all one word. So once again, if you want to save yourself $20 your next purchase, so anytime, any one-time purchase of $50 or more, and listen, inflation is real. Everybody knows that tickets for anything have gone through the roof. Do yourself a favor. We're here to help. Thank you for SeatGeek for partnering with us, and you're welcome. Listen, if you've used the code one time already, do yourself a favor. Sign up with a different email. Courtesy of Brian H. He taught me that trick. So yeah, SeatGeek.com. Use promo code Wrestling Wrealm. Now, if you want to advertise, say there you go. If you'd like to advertise with the Wrestling Realm, please contact us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. So if you're going to advertise your upcoming show, an event, or a podcast or anything of sort that you want to partner with the Wrestling Realm, we are open to advertising. We are trying to partner up and make a push going into this new upcoming in wrestling season. And you can do so once again if you contact us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. Now we've done a whole lot of advertising. You know, this is the part of the show that I love to advertise. Let's hit it. The latest and greatest show to show up on the Wrestling Realm Network is Championship Culture. Yes, the Wrestling Realm presents Championship Culture. It has now officially been rocking and rolling all the way into season 2. The Belt King, Brandon the Guy, and super producer Brother Hugh has the third have been working diligently to provide some of the best wrestling belt content out there today. This is one of my favorite shows. I've enjoyed it so much. But if you are not familiar with the show, head over to youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm and check out the playlist Championship Culture. There you can watch all 25 episodes and a bonus episode of season 1 of Championship Culture and see where this all started. And trust me, jump right into season 2 because season 2 picks up right where season 1 leaves off. And man, season 2 has been leaps and bounds far beyond season 1. And that's a compliment, is because season 1 was it was enough to rock your socks off. So season 2 is fully underway. Championship Culture has done so much. The brand is growing. They had a time themselves out here and during WrestleMania weekend. They got recognized. A lot of people knew who they were, and we'll get into that in a minute. But yesterday, which was Tuesday, so every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm, you can find Championship Culture. But I'm curious to hear what the Good Brothers have to say about this particular episode this week. Gentlemen, what was this week's episode about on Championship Culture?
Da-da-da. Take it away, Hugh.
I knew that was going to happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a quick recap of WrestleMania weekend, in which we got new belts, new champs, and of course the beginning of a new era, according to Triple H, the man, Papa H, Big Papa, and his man, Mr. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. Did you hear that, Brandon? Brian.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You heard that, Brian?
We getting started early, huh?
Yeah. I was just making sure. You see the picture, right? You see the graphic. Okay, I was just making sure you knew.
It was such a big deal. Go back to that picture for a second. It was such a big deal with this picture.
Boom.
You know, most of the time Triple H does a point. He used his whole hand to point to Cody.
All 5 fingers.
Yes. He said, I want to make sure all of them. Yes, as he raises his arm.
Usually those are fighting fingers.
Exactly.
You know, using somebody points off for us. They want action.
They want the smoke.
Yeah, they want all the smoke.
They ready to move furniture.
All of it.
Profits. Yes, new belts, new champs, new era. I'm curious.
Yes.
What was the highlight of this show for you? Because you guys had a lot of guests on the show. Well, you had two. You had two. I guess you got they're almost regulars at this point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So talk about first of all, talk about your guests that you had on the show, and I'm going to piggyback off what you guys say about your guests because it probably may or may not lead to my 2 cents on your show. It may or not. I'm not guaranteeing whether it is or it isn't. I'm just saying based off what you guys say may determine what I say next. So yeah.
So we had the owner of Snaps and Straps make a return, and he made a return because over the weekend when we went to Battleground Championship Wrestling, they revealed, guess what, people? A new belt. New concept called the Street Fight Champion. And anybody that's ever participated in any style of match that's considered hardcore, because of course we were in Philly at the ECW Arena, 2300. And he broke down the design of the belt, and he literally did a live. Every belt has a story for us. So we were ready to break that belt down. But we also had from, I don't know if y'all can see our shirts. You want to hold up your shirt while I talk about it? We also had Knit Brand, one of the hosts 4 sides of the ring. His name is Nitram. He gave us the on Realm After Dark why his name is Nitram, which is a good reason. If you want to find out, that might become a Patreon exclusive. But
Absolutely.
he was definitely there because over the weekend we got to meet all of the hosts from 4 sides of the ring. Because during the weekend, the highlight of our weekend was not only did we get these lovely champion shirts because we were the inaugural champions of the 3 count trivia, which Nitram, it was his brainchild.
Trivia.
Oh my
Yes.
god!
Oh,
Let's go, baby.
And as you can see, we were able to pick about championship belt.
There she go.
that's that purple.
Hey, baby, say hi to everybody.
It's navy blue. It's a navy blue strap
Navy blue
with blue and orange stones. Dual plated, 24 karat gold. You know, I know a lot about this belt for a reason. But yeah, 4 sides of the ring awarded their inaugural champions. You know, those championship culture boys, as Dwayne likes to call us, with their 4 sides of the ring 3 count trivia championship. So we appreciate them, and we appreciate that we had Nitram, you know, the creator of the trivia and who loves trivia. He was on the show to give us his insight and some of his takes from this weekend as well. But we did highlight new belt, new champs, and a whole new era. And I know we're going to get into this, but let's see what the notes are from championship culture.
Well, shout out to brother Nitram for the jelly beans.
We forgot. So out of nowhere, this is real funny. This is going to be brief. We were in. Were we at Wally? Where were we when he first gave you the first set? We were in line for something.
No, we was just in the parking lot.
Okay.
No. NXT.
Okay, so we're in the line for NXT, and some reason, no, we're in the park. Yeah, we were in the parking lot, and Nitram was eating these jelly beans, and it came out of this weird bottle, like a shot glass bottle, and we were all looking like, is it drugs? Is it jelly beans? What is this? Right? So they said, oh, it's jelly beans, and then he pops out like 4 or 5 bottles and just handed you jelly beans. So the whole trip. Every time you turn around, all you see is Hugh doing this with jelly beans.
Just popping jelly
WrestleMania
beans.
Sunday.
When he's brother, he was a jelly beans kind of guy.
I didn't know that either. And it was hilarious because on Sunday, he re-upped them on jelly beans.
Wow. He's got a dealer. He's got a jelly bean. He's got a jelly bean.
He was like, he said he was in the store and they were on clearance. He scanned one and it said 29 cents. So he went back and got the whole case. So him and Hugh shared a moment with jelly beans.
There you go. That's what WrestleMania is about. It's connecting with others.
Yes.
That is now my best friend. Yes.
No, listen to me. Who would have known? That's all it took was some jelly beans. But championship culture, everybody knows. Maybe they don't know. Let me explain. So if you're listening for the first time or you're watching for the first time, I myself, the real Dwayne Allen. Championship culture is one of my favorite shows, and when I can't be there live to disrupt the show with my comments, I often take notes and I come back and I disrupt the show afterwards. So guess what? As I say often after I watch Championship Culture, I've got notes. Here comes Brian H. He hates it when I do that. Every week I say the same thing.
It's enough of that going on. I'm trying to figure it out now.
See? Like he's like Brian's dying over there. Somebody's got feedback. So this week, Championship Culture notes. I'm going to go through this rapid fire because we have a lot to talk about. Point number 1. Brother Guy, bless you. You did a really big sneeze on the show yesterday.
And I kept thinking I was hitting mute. I was trying to hit mute.
Yeah. You failed tremendously. I was like, ooh, bless you. So I want to tell you that. Number 1, bless you. Number 2, I agree with Nitram about Trios Championships. I've never seen a decent looking set of Trios Championship belts. The Ring of Honor Trios Championships or 6-man tag championships. The previous ones are okay. The new ones are gorgeous. I love Tony Khan's Ring of Honor's championship belts. I just do. They've done a really good job with them. They tickle my fancy. I like them. Another note. You said, was Mark Briscoe the right choice to win the Ring of Honor championship this past weekend? Of course I'm biased. The answer is yes.
Wait, he won the what?
Ring of Honor world title.
That was okay. That was the world title. I saw it on it. Okay.
Because it looks like the other belts. Yeah, they all.
It's showing it does.
They all the same silhouette with different words on it. But
right.
Yes, and the tag belt all look the same.
And Nick Rum kind of made he made a comment. No, it might. I don't think it was. I don't know. I don't remember which one of the brothers said it, but I remember they said it seemed like it was just a gift to Mark Briscoe because of the dates and the time, and everybody had their opinions about, well, maybe it shouldn't have been him, stuff like that. I'm like, well, they don't really know what they're doing in Ring of Honor anyway, so it really doesn't matter who holds the championship. So if you're going to do something special, you knew somebody was going to finish one story this weekend. Why not get on that bandwagon? That's the same reason you run shows in the same area as WrestleMania every year, right?
Right.
So I mean, yes, of course, Mark Briscoe, a Ring of Honor original, like a day one guy. You talking about day one ish, a day one guy. You know what I mean? Having his moment, everything. Moving on, North American Women's Championship. Who should be the first one who win this championship? Natalya Neidhart. Now, there was a conversation about, don't make that face, Brian. Look at his face. He's so annoyed. We're going to get to Brian H in a second. Because Brian H had a whole blazer on earlier. Because, we're not going to get to that right now. North American Women's Champion. Why should it be Natalya? It's because, one, it's a name that has prestige to it. And usually your mid-card title is usually sometimes known as your workhorse championship. Sometimes, because the TBS championship wasn't necessarily known as a workhorse championship with Jade Cargill, but it kind of was to elevate her, make her feel like she was important and looking for me, which it did well. But I think the point of adding another women's championship is not for the sake of adding a women's championship. They need another channel to help build superstars. You know what I mean? And sometimes women don't get opportunities to, it's because all their stories usually revolve around the championship. They don't always get chances like Rhea Ripley to go elsewhere. So if you put the championship on someone like a Natalya, she's a workhorse. She's always going to be working. She's always going to be, when somebody beats her, it's going to mean something. So why not start off on that foot? That's just my 2 cents. Favorite belt moment of WrestleMania weekend? Obviously, Cody Rhodes. It's okay, Brian H. We'll get there. And yes, the Ring of Honor 6-man championships. I do like those. They're gorgeous. Yep, that's what I have for you. These are my notes for this week's episode of Championship Culture. If you missed it, go back to youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm. Playlist Championship Culture every Tuesday, 8 p.m. And here it comes. And there it goes. So yeah, Championship
Shout
Culture.
out to Prototype.
Okay, yes.
Prototype. I didn't get to shout you out yesterday, but pleasure meeting you, sir.
That's right. You guys saw him in passing this weekend, didn't you?
Yep. He walked up to us, big fella. He walked up to us and he walked up to me and was like, "Hey, what's up? I was like, hold on, who's this?"
Hold on there, brother.
And he introduced himself, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" We chopped it up a little bit, and then
He's like, "Come on, mate."
God dang it, Dylan. Why is Dylan?
He's starting already.
Dylan is starting already. Yes, he is.
Oh, Dylan.
So yeah, so if you didn't get a chance to watch Championship Culture, matter of fact, just for old time's sake, one more time. Check out season 2. It's a good time. Brian H, we're not here to waste any time, brother.
Yep.
Just go ahead and ring the bell. And there you have it. That's the sound of relief. Fellas, we made it to this weekend. There was such a huge build up to this point. WrestleMania 40. There's a lot of things said. There's a lot of things that we saw from NXT to the Hall of Fame. So much. Now, usually this is the part of the show where we ask, each week we do a weekly segment called "What Did You Watch?" But I think it's kind of goddamn obvious what the heck we watched this week. So I'm going to hit the button. I'm going to watch the button. I'm going to hit the button that says "What did you watch?" But this week is going to be a little bit special. I want you guys to talk about what did you experience. Now, if you watch something and experienced it, that's fine too. But for those that don't know, who are either watching or listening, 3/4 of the Wrestling Wrealm was actually there at WrestleMania this year. So Brian H as a third, the guy, all in attendance, and they all had 3 different experiences because they were in different spaces. So I would love to hear you guys what did you guys experience this week? So like I said, I'm gonna hit the segment. Like I said, if you want to sponsor what did you watch, please contact us at gmail.com. That's exactly how you sounded on the show yesterday, brother Brandon. Like you were cough up a lung and sneeze your nose off. But it's all good. He was free. I'm sure he's freezing cold. He hit the mute button this time. I'm sure he was freezing cold night one of WrestleMania. But let's get into it. What did you watch? Brothers, Wrestle freaking Mania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Gentlemen, who wants to go first? What did you watch? What did you experience? What did you feel this weekend at WrestleMania? The greatest WrestleMania of all time. The beginning of the Triple H era.
So I'll go first since everybody's quiet.
Hold on. Real quick before we get started. I'm sorry. This is rude of me. I apologize. We all want to have a moment of silence for Brian H. and his bloodline.
No.
Okay, I'm just checking because Brian H. had a whole black suit on earlier, like he was at a funeral on Wednesdays Worldwide. I was like, he's fully dressed in full black. Look, he still look like The Rock right now.
Did he have
but it's
blazer
okay
on?
though. No, yeah, he just took the blazer. It looks like The Rock when he slid across the floor doing the people's elbow. But let's get into it, brother Brandon. You were going to start. Yeah, when he slid in the penny loafers. What did you experience this weekend, sir? WrestleMania, man. Let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. This is what the people came to see. We got almost 100 people looking at us right now. Let's do
Why
this.
the hell I gotta be Willie Wood, Drew?
That's
you missed that.
You missed that episode.
You missed
that's
that.
D Willie stuff. That was D Willie was you last week.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Now we were thinking nobody would notice, but I think it kind of got a little obvious. So he was.
If he would have had his hair down, he had it in a
wasn't-
ponytail, so people was
Now,
like, "That's not Brian."
He gave a really good explanation. You know, he said that he broke Matt Hardy. They switched vessels and something, and we didn't have Hollywood, so we kind of had we had Willie Wood. So yeah,
Okay. That's hilarious.
That's to fill you in. So go ahead, brother Brandon. What did you experience? Let's start with you, sir.
So I experienced.
These are all my expressions of hearing. Like I'm exhausted. So you're gonna hear me make those like
Well, first off, my whole weekend, I kept saying I'm going to send away footage because I'm not going to get called out on the show for not sending no footage like last time.
Yeah.
And every chance I got to send it, when we had signal, I said, I'm sending them everything. I think I even sent you the footage when I was recording. It went down to my pocket. And like I said, he's getting everything. He's going to get this whole experience. I will say it was my first WrestleMania, and I'm almost sad to say it might be my last live WrestleMania. And this is why.
there you go, being a recluse again.
Seeing 77,000 people at one time.
Did you get
that first night walking into there? No, all jokes aside, I almost grabbed two hands. And was like, "Can we leave? I don't want to be here." It was just
he definitely did.
It was
Brandon we know.
It was so many people. I was like, "This is what is happening here?" And it was like, I'm really second guessing this. And when I tell you, 77 first night 72, woo, second night 77. It felt every minute of 77,000 people in that stadium. Shout out to Triple H for making the stage. Because looking at the stage at first, and I remember Hollywood saying, you got to be there for the experience and the stage and everything. I was underwhelmed. And then when I realized why the stage was the way it was,
room for seats.
Yeah, make more. I said that makes 100% more sense because how the stadium was set up. And I wanted to have like a lot of music loud, and then we had like other things like distracting us. But it was like Triple H has made it so I can't watch wrestling on TV the same way. I definitely can't watch it live. It was points in the match. I'm like, why the security guards running? What are they doing? Who's this? Why these boxes? Right. I even said, why the boxes on the side of the ring? Look, it's boxes everywhere. I'm pointing out all kinds of stuff. And just to be in that moment, I didn't record as much as I wanted because I wanted to be in that moment. In 2024, you see a lot of people like this.
That's all you saw.
Yeah, but I wanted to be in that moment, and just being there and taking it in was an experience nonetheless. But I will say WWE probably made $1 billion over this weekend. You could not turn. Yes, you could not turn without seeing an American Nightmare. And it wasn't just like a t-shirt, it would be a t-shirt, a jacket, shorts, a hat. It was all they were Cody from top to bottom, bloodline
fanatics,
from
man.
top to bottom, dressed to the T. Like I felt like I was underdressed with just only a championship culture hoodie on. I was like, do I need to go get like
You put
WWE
wrestling gear
merchandise?
on, buddy.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know. I didn't know it was a dress code for this, and it was just, and when I say an experience, I would tell everybody to at least go. Me and he found out some life hacks to it. We figured out a lot of life hacks. But I will say, I don't know if I could take 77,000 people again. And imagine if they do it somewhere else. And this made me realize we were wrong. Baltimore can have a WrestleMania.
Really? Why do you say
Baltimore can have a WrestleMania. Our only challenge would be parking. But if they can put 77,000 people in that field, Al Raven Stadium can hold that WrestleMania.
I was curious about how that was. You know, we frequent Philly all the time. You know what I mean, in and out. So I was curious. I was like, it seems kind of closed in, but from
Ravens
TV,
Stadium is bigger.
Really,
and this is why
seat capacities. Phillies is 60-ish. The Ravens is 74-ish. Just the seats.
Wow.
So like,
so when they do the ground, they do the ground, that's how you gonna get extra seats. But it's
Brandon's right. You can definitely fit more.
And here's the thing, why? Because
now
where Wale Mania was, where ROH, ECW Arena, you had to travel, but nothing was within like terribly far. It was like 15, 20 minutes in between. So you could go anywhere, which was the best thing about it, because even though Philly designed for the stadium, the football field, the baseball field, the Wells Fargo Arena, they're in the same parking lot, but the parking is so much better. But you could literally have NXT stand and deliver at the CFG Arena, WrestleMania there. You could put something in the Orioles Stadium, like you said. It made me realize that Baltimore could have a WrestleMania. We don't need to relegate ourselves to a B-level pay-per-view or one of the big four. It would just be the thing where you would probably spread out. We probably would go back to the Dewburns Arena. ROH might run into Dewburns, as like a spiritual.
It's bought up now. Coppermine bought it up.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
The sports people.
Okay. But I was just saying, like, there's so many, like, what is university where they run AEW?
Oh, UMBC.
Yeah, because everything's within 15, 20 minutes. So I was like, this is cool. No matter what you did, it was close. So it wasn't like a big thing. The parking sucked everywhere except for the arena.
You drove?
Literally.
Oh, wow. See, I figured it, but I wasn't thinking of it because, Philly's kind of already closed in as it is, as far as their streets and stuff like that. But
that's why I parked my car at the hotel and left it there and didn't move it. I parked it Wednesday, didn't move it till Monday.
And you just Ubered it up? Okay. That's smart. But you, Brother Brandon, you drove up, right?
Yeah, and drove around, which was a
it.
gift and a curse at the same time. Because it took us an hour to get out of the parking lot. Night one, I think an hour and a half. Night two,
that would have made me more mad about anything.
After ROH, and if you know me, I'm a park in any. If it's a spot, I'm a park there. I'm gonna make sure if it's you laugh because it'll be like the lowest spot. I'll be like, yeah, I can fit it there, and I didn't care, so I knew it wouldn't be a challenge for me. It's just maybe you have to walk because we made a real bad mistake when we tried to go to WWE World. That was like the longest walk ever. GPS kept spinning us around. We walked through downtown Philly for like 30 minutes and didn't even hit the Rocky steps.
So, dang.
Yeah, we was walking for a minute.
Wow. Okay. Brother Hugh. That was definitely one perspective. I wouldn't expect him to say that he got anxiety seeing 77,000. That's the first time you've been around that much people at all, like Brother Brandon.
Yeah, because even in college, when we used to do like the football games in Canada and stuff like that.
Sure.
Just being around the band, going to perform, then being back around the band. Not really exposed to that much. Got to walk through the stadium and that kind of stuff.
Got it.
Being at the CIAA tournament on a step show field, it might be only 3,000 people in the audience. So it's not like it was ever that short volume of people. Yeah, it was like
it was just droves, regardless.
It was just every time you turn, it was so bad. When we went to the restroom, I just walked past everybody. I went past the line and just went to the bathroom. I was I'm not waiting in this line. And I just walked past everybody. I was like, nope, not doing it. And nobody said anything.
Excuse my moment of ignorance. I have to go.
Yeah, I was like, y'all can see me waiting because there's like 700 stalls in there, and y'all all waiting to the same six. So I walked past. I was like, Yeah.
Gotta make aggressive moves. But Brother Hugh, come on, man. Talk to the people, man. This is your second WrestleMania you've gone to, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now this is like a victory lap for you right now. People don't know, but you're on your victory tour right now. You know what I mean? So like
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
God
look
is
at
good,
him,
man.
the
Yeah.
haircut and whatnot.
Nah,
When I
nah.
seen Brother Hugh at Wale Mania, I said, "Ooh."
So he was ready. He was ready. Ready. Yes, he was. But Brother Hugh, man,
Hey,
how was your WrestleMania experience, man? What did you experience? What did you watch? What did you see? All the way in the mix
I
of,
saw,
of the world of wrestling fans.
man, I met a lot of great people. I wish I would had a little bit more time to meet more people that I wasn't able to get up with. But
Mhm.
that 77,000, that didn't bother me. I'm cool with it,
Yeah, 'cause
you
you like
know.
blending
But
in anyway. You know, how Brother Hugh is. He like, man, it's like you like, where's Waldo? He just, you know what I mean?
right,
He's just gonna blend in. Like, yeah, you gonna have to find me, bro.
How many times I do this? I say, what did he go? Oh, he right there.
right, yep. That's exactly what happened. Yep. But yeah, I had a great time. Great time. Like, man, last year it's been a hell of a year for me.
Yeah.
Last year I was supposed to go due to some personal reasons. I couldn't. But I told myself then that look, I was going to make it. I was going to get
Mhm.
here. So I made it. It was very emotional at
Sound like
times
that
for
trip
me.
to Nashville.
No, not at all. Not at all. Boy, that's a crazy one. But
That's
no,
my favorite story.
man, I had a
Yeah.
lot of fun, man. We met a lot of beautiful people. Shout out to Mouthing Off with Mike, Four Sides of the Ring.
Hmm.
Who else did we meet? Prototype? Who else we meet? We met Zilla too. We
Yeah.
had a picture with Zilla.
Sure
Yeah.
did.
Stephanie
Zilla Fly
Hardy.
too.
Oh, you
One of
had
the
already met
coolest,
Stephanie.
right? Stephanie Hardy. Yep. As soon as we walked in on Wale Made, she was over there T-stepping. I said, hey Steph, let's go. Okay. Hey. But yeah, I had a lovely time, man. The show was phenomenal. Um, I can't really think of any flaws, to be honest.
Oh boy.
Besides, let me say this. Besides the new music. That's the
You
only
said
thing. That's my only beef with the show. Just the new music for certain people.
okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Mm.
You want to feel it?
but no, not yet. I guess I had to go back and rewatch it. It sounds a little bit different, as you're watching it on TV. But
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
And
it'll end up growing on me.
okay.
Um,
And you did go back and
yeah.
rewatch it.
Of course, of
Okay.
course,
All right. So
of
you got
course.
so you got
Always
that's
do that.
I always ask that because you get great perspective because it's like it's one way to watch it while you're there and then to watch it from a home it's it's a whole different ball game. But yeah.
Right. I'm a stickler for the production. You know what I'm saying? So, but
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you something about WWE and their
Yep.
camera work. Oh
Oh
my
God.
gosh, that's all I can say, bro. Is
What's
oh my
what's what's
gosh.
what's his name? The new guy in charge now because they call him by his name now.
I forgot his name.
Lee something. I could be. I'm sorry. I don't know why I even said that. Do you know his Brown H?
No, I don't know.
But Triple H
Well,
has been saying his name a lot lately.
In the
right,
press
right.
conferences, right? He
Yeah.
said, shout out to,
Yeah.
the camera work is awesome. How Triple H
Look,
is.
brother, you are doing your thing. Keep
Yeah.
on doing what you're doing. Because these angles and these shots that you're getting right now,
It's so
it
dramatic.
makes it makes the it makes the whole experience so much better for us.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
So
your
we appreciate you for
competition
that.
is going down because
Oh boy.
tonight
Yeah.
those zoom ins and zoom outs
The quick cut.
every
Every time.
no, hold up. Like everything that Dotson and Bembry, even what's the other dude's name who used to be the head, but they demoted him quickly.
Capano?
Everything Capano,
Dr.
everything they
Capano.
taught
Yep.
us, Wharton Rigby, everything they taught us not to do, they doing in
Ooh.
AEW.
Yeah, it's
Why
rough.
do you cut a promo like this? Why do
They
you
look
do
like
this? Why is the
they're
camera angle
not
this
sure
way?
what exactly like they're not sure what they're doing. Like, are you guys ready? Like, who's in the control room? Who's the technical director
And
for the
that's the
show?
thing. Like, I'm like, but y'all just brought Mike Mazzori over there, who's good
I'm
from
trying to figure it
WWE. He
out.
was supposed to be the next
Yeah.
KD, but
Remember,
Hey,
Brandon, we was
before you
tripping
go,
off of that at ROH, remember?
yeah.
I was like,
But before
bro,
you go,
lay up
Brian,
off the Zoom. But go ahead.
Dwayne, do you realize? Do you Dwayne? Do you realize Triple H put metal in everything?
Bro, I heard
All
it. I
metal.
said, "Yo," I say, like you guys ever watch that old Saturday Night Live skit with Will Ferrell? And he's got the cowbell.
Cowbell, yes, more
They're like,
cowbell.
needs more cowbell. Needs more. I mean, that's not true. It's
He
like,
was like,
this is not as good. Nope, needs more metal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just hit just like this. Like, yeah, I mean, it's great. I still think it needs more cowbell. That's how Triple H says about metal. Like, yeah, Bailey, your theme is excellent, but needs more metal.
Steph.
Tulsa is rocking for the arrival of main event Jey Uso. Come on, Corey, let me do it too. I think you.
Always doing something. Hey,
That's our brother used to during WrestleMania. In case you didn't see it.
absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
he really did. Yellow pants on it all.
Wow.
Yep.
Brian
Yellow
H.
pants.
Yes,
Come on
sir.
now. Talk to the people, because you if anybody knows me, since Brian H. doing WrestleMania, when Brian H. goes to WrestleMania, I go to WrestleMania. That's just how it works. And I'm gonna explain it, and I'm gonna give my 2 cents what Brian has done. And but you know, he is one thing I can look forward to every year when he goes is these good old fashioned WrestleMania stories, and he's always good for one. It's good for multiple words, but I like to get his 2 cents about you worked WrestleMania and you had to enjoy it, and I know you have to kind of manage that balance of like trying to enjoy it, but I'm also excited to work it because it's, these are opportunities that come up, and I remember the first time Brad H was so inexperienced, he had to ask the question like, what should I do? Should I stay and watch Stone Cold come out, or should I interview Cody Rhodes? And I was like, okay, listen, you're not thinking straight, you're excited, let me help you out. Go talk to Cody Rhodes. And that interview that he produced, it's still pinned to his Twitter. So your brother helped you make the right decision. You're welcome. Not that you needed my help, but it was just I had to help reassure him and be like, brother, I don't think you know what's going on right now. Cody Rhodes just left his own company.
You take the Draymond Green meme with Kevin Durant before.
Yeah, just like this in his ear like this. Like, no, you need to go talk to Cody Rhodes. Stone Cold is old. We've seen him, but it's okay. But sir, how was your WrestleMania experience? What did you watch? What did you experience? Talk to the people. Brian H. Waters, Hollywood at WrestleMania XL, aka 40.
Man, I'll say this. It was an opportunity to like see so many things come full circle, right?
All right. Let's get deep now, y'all.
Yeah, like shout out to brother Matt. Matt been rocking with us all the way since the Ring of Honor days.
Oh yeah,
and to be able to give my brother a hug at the meet and greet. Shout out to Ben getting that all together. Shout out to the good people at the Ringer. We had the meet and greet, and Glenn came out. Glenn and his daughter, and I'll share this. I don't think I'll get in trouble for sharing this. The cool thing about him going to WrestleMania with his baby girl was WrestleMania in New Jersey. When I went to WrestleCon, the very first WrestleCon, I saw Glenn, and me and him was talking, and we would see. At this point, we didn't talk every day. We just talk at wrestling shows. And he said, "Man, my wife let me go. My baby girl on her way. She'll be here in a few days." And I just said, "Just hold off for me, just so I can go to WrestleMania." And I was able to tell his daughter, I said, "You're here." I said, and 30, I said, yeah, 9 years ago, or whatever the amount is. I said, but 11 years ago, you stayed just in time, just so your dad could go to WrestleMania. I said, and now to see you here, and then to see her reaction, she was so excited to show me her shoes that Naomi signed, and that was an exciting moment. I had a moment, another full circle moment. I got to talk to Mia Yim backstage. And Wale Mania, and I gave her her flowers. And the thing I reminded her was, I said, you gave me the opportunities with a lot of interviews when I was first starting out, and you didn't have to. Here I was just trying to figure it out, and I said, because of that, it led me to be able to do stuff like this. And she said, it was great. She said, you got a chance. She said, you and my peoples. So of course. And we were standing there, and that's when Queen PR goes, wait, let me take a picture of y'all, because I know how much this moment means to him. So that was fun. Seeing Kiera Hogan and Jordan Grace, two people who we brother Hugh and I came up through was working with at WSU and seeing them and you know it wasn't no oh who's this guy, no, it was hey what's up, you know, big hugs. um so what the heck, oh sorry. um so it was a lot of those moments WWE wise, meeting CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. That was cool. I have a different experience with CM Punk than Brother Brandon, but I can see why. You know, when I tell you he's a happy punk, he's a happy punk. Um, you know,
Such thing, but here we are.
huh?
I said didn't think it was a such thing, but here we are.
Facts.
For now.
No.
It was.
No.
I'll say this. AJ Styles said this. He said, "It's no secret. Some of my best friends work in that company, and they didn't have a lot of good things to say about him." He said, so he kind of was like, when he came in, he was on edge, waiting to see. And he said, can't say nothing bad about him. He said he's been, you know, straight up. But that Cody Rhodes, man, that Cody Rhodes, man. I'll tell you this. If you think John Cena's such a nice guy, he's got him beat. And I didn't think that was possible. He just like, I mean, talks to you, shakes your hand, and treats you if you're the only person in the room. You know,
Yes,
even
he
when
does.
meeting everybody in a group setting. I had this, I just took it out of the wash. It's not that but I had this shirt on, and he was like, wow, man, that's
I
a
thought that
nice
was a
shirt.
Nightmare shirt, American Nightmare shirt.
Oh, no. And see, this shirt means a lot to me. I bought it because it's the last, the only video game my grandfather ever watched me play. So, you
It's
know,
got sentimental value.
Yeah, he was on the sick bed watching watching me play this. So I had to get it. And you know, so talk to him about, you know, but you know, it was such it was a great time. You know, of course, every show, every trip has a story to steal a line from the championship culture guys. But when I saw them at Wale Mania and I saw them interacting, you know, because I was in work mode, and by the time the night was over, I didn't want to talk to nobody because I had ran out of people meter. Brother
Sure.
Hugh, he knew that's that moment where Brother Hugh takes me and walks me away from everybody. That was one of the moments. But it was fun. And last but not
Meanwhile,
least,
I'm on Instagram Live like, hey, there's Hollywood Brian. Oh, never mind. I switched the camera back.
say this.
I saw him in passing.
Yeah, I was trying to shout him out. He just I said, never mind. I'll switch
It
the
was-
camera back real fast.
I'll say this, man. My parting thoughts is I understand Baltimore wants a WrestleMania, and I wanted Baltimore to win a WrestleMania. Hell to the no. Keep keep that show away from the East Coast in April. I don't ever
it cold?
Don't trust the weather.
Yes,
Don't trust the weather.
you
It was
can't.
definitely cloudy around
The
yonder.
dummies put the Super Bowl at MetLife, and you saw what it did to Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
That's why they ain't gonna never do that again. You know.
But did you notice how nice it was Monday? I had a whole attitude. A whole attitude.
Tuesday, yeah, Monday was nice, and then Tuesday was even better.
Outside.
You know, so yeah, I was like, yeah, West Coast me only. I also will say this. I noticed one thing about myself.
Mhm.
I don't particularly like WrestleManias in cities with a lot of people that's accessible, and here's why.
Okay.
Because there's a pressure. There's a certain pressure, right? Now I saw this in Orlando. Oh boy, I saw this in Orlando with people trying to like between go to hang out, go to shows, but then appease their people. And then I saw that kind of happening in Philly a lot. Yeah, it's cool that the New Yorkers and the Marylanders can easily drive up, but man, the best part was, like Brandon said earlier, the fact that everything was within 20 minutes of each other. Because Texas, you had to go 30, 40, same with LA, 30 or 40 minutes to get to the show. Now everything else was closer. But for WrestleMania itself, because you know, Miami Miami might be my favorite city for WrestleMania. Let's put it back there. But
Let's really talk about it.
yeah,
Because it's Miami's a tourist attraction, so it's like
Yeah.
built for people to be there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
A lot of people.
No more East Coast WrestleManias. Oh,
Unless they
Northeast.
got a dome. It's got to have a dome.
I
Like the
don't even want
prototype
the-
said.
I understand, but I don't even want the dome. Let me tell you why. Because I want to be able to walk outside the hotel. I want to enjoy stuff. You can't really enjoy everything,
He just want to show his muscles. That's all it is.
huh?
He
No,
want to show his muscles. That's
Right.
all it is.
Chicago was miserable for Survivor Series. I was like, you go straight to eat, go back to the hotel. You know?
Oh yeah, I guess so. It's Chicago, freaking in November.
Right. And I knew it when I heard it. I was,
They get snow in October, for goodness sake.
right. So imagine, Minnesota, like everybody keep thinking, okay, it's inside, but Minnesota could be 38 degrees too.
No, yeah, I hope that's just a rumor.
Bring
I'm
us
like, what?
SummerSlam.
Minnesota.
Look, bring us SummerSlam. I'll dig that. But yeah. But with all that, it was a beautiful thing to be in the building when that goddamn Cody Rhodes finished his goddamn story.
That nice guy you talked about. That nice guy you talked about.
I'll give my thoughts on the main event, Dylan. When the driver dictates us to go there, calm down, Dylan. It's coming.
Look, he's anxious. He wants to get into it. Well, I'll say this personally, and I want to say you guys, and I'm telling you guys this publicly. I want to thank all of you, good brothers of mine, for all the photos, video clips, and everything. That always means the world to me. Is because you guys care enough about me to say, look, like you want to share those moments with me, knowing that I can't, when have not really been in the position to ever go to WrestleMania. That's a part of, that's a part of me finishing my story. You know what I mean? And but you guys, there's never been a time where any of you guys have gone to WrestleMania and I didn't feel like I wasn't there. Like most people don't know what's important to me, but the fact that you guys always, everybody it was just Hugh, Brandon, Brian, everybody just sending me stuff at every time. Now I don't know why all three of you guys sending me the action figure boost. What's that about? It's like no. It's like, nope. Gotta say this. I was like,
man, he went over there. I said, we gotta record. That's why I FaceTimed
know me.
I said, hey, I said we gotta send a video.
I was like, driving, and I knew it was something, and I was like,
and Friday night when me and Ben went over there, I definitely recorded and didn't get that. I said you don't put it in chat.
I told you. Like I said, I just got. I was like, man, this is. But like you,
I told
you guys
Ben,
always.
I got sent this to my brother.
I've never not felt like I was at a WrestleMania because you guys have always gone out of your way to make sure that.
Well, here's what we're gonna do next year.
Okay.
We tend to work hard here, and
Brian says this every year for the last decade. By the way,
yeah, but you don't listen. You don't follow me. So next year, I'm gonna just have to hold on. Let me be careful with my words.
I am difficult. Don't get me wrong. I'll admit that.
No, because we're gonna have to make sure you there. We got, look, y'all keep subscribing. That get us monetized. That means y'all ain't got to pay for the monetization. The YouTube will pay us. That's one way. Patreon been doing okay. We could take some of the Patreon funds, and we'll get you there, and we'll throw you in Brother Hugh's suitcase. It's
not enough room in there.
I'm almost sure I can fit. I'm almost sure I can fit in that suitcase.
I don't know. I got a lot of shoes and
clothes.
gear.
This
Right.
now, this was the WrestleMania I took the most pair of shoes.
Now you did.
I saw you was fresh. I'm proud of you, brother.
Because he had mentioned I forgot. I don't know what t-shirt he saw. He's like, man, I would take that with to WrestleMania. He said, but I've already got my WrestleMania outfits ready for each day. So it's gonna have to sit in the back. I said,
Man,
shout out to Nate, suited and booted.
Storyline tees for hooking the brother up. Shout out to Chalk Line. Shout out to WWE Ripple Junction. Man,
nah, you was fly though, man. You was doing your thing. I said, okay, Brian. He was at the gate. But yeah, man. Like I said,
that's what happens when you don't have to worry about when you don't have to worry about insecurity no more.
Hey, listen,
realness.
realness. Yes, sir.
You know your championship culture boys got you something.
Yeah, you did. You mentioned that. I'm curious now. Like he wants to troll me now.
Oh, we're gonna troll
Everybody
you.
has a story.
It's gonna be a trolling situation. Don't you worry. Uh-oh. Did we lose him? Did
No,
we lose
sorry.
him?
I thought my
No.
light was about to flip over.
Oh, don't you
Yeah.
worry.
You guys, this is
Yeah,
tribulation.
so exactly. Queen Graves just said it best. That would been that SoFi was the best
And
stadium wise.
okay.
LA,
All right.
because it felt like it compacted the sound better than Dallas, where Dallas was the dome, but it still felt like hollow. Where SoFi you could feel like, I mean, when them Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens won, you could hear like it was loud in there.
Okay. So we're all voting to keep
I told y'all Cody should have finished the story in Atlanta.
No, cut it out. We're not finishing no stories in the Vince era.
Imagine if he would have finished it in the Georgia Dome or whatever, the
my
Mercedes-Benz Dome.
Yeah, it would have been loud.
Exactly.
It would have been loud.
When he
But,
beats The Rock, it'll be loud.
I don't. Let's get into it. They're not going to waste any time, brothers. We talked about your experiences. We talked about my experiences. Loaded freaking weekend. We spent weeks upon weeks upon weeks building up to this point. Where the heck do we start? I apologize right now. It's because we do not have time to get into everything that happened at WrestleMania. So we're going to hit the points that I feel like you guys feel are the most important. Yes, sir.
Just so we can get this out of the way. Did y'all see the footage?
I did. You talking about the CM Punk footage? First of all, I meant to ask you this earlier before we got started when you started talking about the WrestleMania weekend, and I was like, "Oh, this started getting real deep." Yes. Whoop. AEW. Quick break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get back to the WrestleMania talk. First of all, of course, somebody had enough time to match up the footage with the interview that CM Punk did,
Bro,
it made it worse.
3 minutes
Right.
though. I kid you not. No, all right. If real talk, probably 20 minutes. They just like that. I loved it.
But he told the truth though. Like, you look dumb now. Like, what are you doing? Tony Schiavone looked embarrassed. Like, why are we doing
Didn't
this?
he? Oh my God.
I've never seen Tony Schiavone with his head down like this. I say, wait a minute. So you gonna show the footage like it was something different? But it was exactly what he said because somebody literally matched up the footage to what he said. Like, look, man, I walked up to him. He choked him out. For a guy that was a failed MMA star, he moved kind of quick though. On old Jungle Boy.
Definitely did. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's embarrassing. Like, what were you trying to accomplish by showing the footage of everything? Like, I was under the impression that maybe they were trying to imply that, hey, maybe he didn't tell the truth all the way. Maybe he didn't approach the situation. It was exactly what he said in the goddamn interview. Like, what were you trying to accomplish? You talk about a cheap pop. You got to stop booking your Fed like it's an indie.
Bro, I really thought they was going to do the same thing we did.
I said that. Didn't I tell you? I said it was going to be a parody. I said it's going to be like what you call it.
That would have been. And that would have been funnier.
And I think when it came out like Thursday or like Friday or Saturday, said AEW plans to show the footage on Wednesday. It came out like over the weekend. You know, because
it came out definitely on WrestleMania.
Yeah, the interview came out Monday. Yeah, Monday. I was watching it on the way to Brooklyn.
Yeah, that was to start the week off. Yep.
Yeah, and then it felt like the end of the week. They said, "Yeah, we're gonna play it next week," and then they play that. And Dylan, this a surveillance camera footage. That's why I was muted.
Yeah, that was just dumb. I'm sorry. Like, what were you trying? I watched it. I was just like, wait a minute. This is exactly what he said that happened.
Trying to move the story with the, and we still don't care about the
they should.
How many times you could do the Young Bucks and the FTR?
Yeah, they should have just because I don't know why the Young Bucks still think they're the greatest tag team ever to do it. But don't worry, they're gonna want to try to come back home anyway. But yeah, thank you, Seth. That was a good side note because I meant to mention that, but I got caught up in what you call it. So yeah, but back to WrestleMania. Oh geez, where do you guys want to start? Like, just tell me, and we'll just get into it. It's because it's like, yo, there's no way in the world we can cover everything. We're obviously going to we're obviously going to end on Damian Priest cashing in, and we're obviously going to end on the main event, Cody Rhodes. But I remember we talked about this, and I'll ask you guys this first. This is how we're gonna spark it off. We went into the WrestleMania preview show. Brian, you weren't there. We had Willie Wood, and we were talking about what night looks like it was going to be better, night 1 or night 2.
Willie Wood sounds so
Willie Wood.
frustrated.
It does, and he said it. He said that sounds kind of provocative, but
Hey, at least they didn't have 3 of them because it's hardcore.
yeah, they didn't have 3 extras.
Hold on. Why did he have that on the back of his jacket though? CM Punk on his hoodie.
Oh,
He definitely did though. Like I don't know what he's insinuating, but
It's hardcore.
Must be a Chicago thing.
Wow, by way of Delaware. Anyways, that's
Hey.
oh
Anyway.
geez, that was great. No, but he did me lose my train of thought. Okay, WrestleMania. WrestleMania 40. Where do you guys want to start? So
Let's start with
that's
Priest.
okay. So let's just start with Priest. All right, let's just jump. Okay, let's just go into our good for business, bad for business. This is the segment we do every week. Good for business, bad for business. We take something that happened in the industry, something that happened on the show, and we say is this a good idea or bad idea? This is good for business or bad for business. We saw a wonderful match between a very well story told between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre wins. He has his moment. He beat everybody. He got his pop. He got a chance to celebrate that moment, and he just couldn't let it go. There's a young lady that went viral on social media recently just about her Psycho Design 2. It's her name everywhere. She's blown up. It's because she is just scolding Drew McIntyre for his behavior when he should have just left. And he wanted to do what every villain does in these movies. He wanted the monologue. So he got the monologue in. CM Punk didn't take it anymore. He snatched that brace off his arm. And he did what he does best. He had to get his hit back. Damian Priest cashes in, wins the World Heavyweight Championship. And now it seems like the previous balance from what we're used to. Back in the day, remember, we were not used to having 2 alpha world champions. One was like the top guy, and the other guy was like the developmental guy. Like, okay, you're just getting started. We're trying to build you into a main eventer, but this is your first run. Versus the other guy that kind of represent the company. That's kind of what we're going back to, right? It was different before when we had Roman and Seth because they both were big dogs, and Roman was working on a lighter schedule than everybody else. So it worked out that way. But now we're going back to like, okay, let's build new world champions versus, guys filling those spots. So we have Damian Priest. We were unsure about Damian Priest. You know what I mean? He kind of blew up. He proved his worth teaming with Bad Bunny and then having a match against Bad Bunny. And then what he was able to do with the Judgment Day. And we were like, man, Punishment Martinez might be the next world guy. But then Seth Rollins got into the mix and Roman Reigns was just ridiculous. And then Cody Rhodes returns and we were like, uh-oh, there's a lot going on there. I don't know where Priest fits into all this stuff, but they still believed in him. They still pulled the trigger and look at him now. He is our new world heavyweight champion. We don't know if this will stay on Raw or SmackDown. I'm almost a betting man. I'm almost sure this is going to SmackDown.
Right.
WWE draft coming up soon. We'll talk about that as well. But we have Damian Priest. He cashed in at WrestleMania, one of the biggest moments. I know Championship Culture guys talked about it a little bit yesterday with Nick Raman. He expressed the importance of having a new world champion of Puerto Rican descent, first one since, I guess they said, since Pedro Morales.
Yep.
And here we are now. But gentlemen, is this good for business or bad for business? Having Damian Priest be your new world heavyweight champion, because I don't know what this run is going to be for him. Because everyone, I said this last week on the podcast referring to Championship Culture. I said, man, every title run is not made equal. Like everybody that's the champion is not the champion for the same reasons, right? Sometimes we're like, well, he had it, but he didn't do a so-and-so. They're like, well, maybe that wasn't his purpose. Like, you know what I mean? So what are we looking at with Damian Priest? Is this good for business or bad for business that they pulled the trigger with Damian Priest right now?
I think it's good for business. I think it was ultimately. I think it's get you used to him being a world champion.
Right, that awkward first title run, Sheamus.
Yeah, but September. Oh yeah, hold on. What is the date? I just had it. Um, June 15th is Clash of the Castle. I think
Mhm.
that's where Drew gets his real crowning moment. So now, because Drew not going after the title, right? I mean, you got him and Punk got business. Um, because CM Punk, he's probably cleared. He said,
You think?
yeah, because
Right.
like when we said we saw him, he's like, "Oh, where's your brace? Your brace." He's like, "Well, that should tell you where I'm at with my knee rehab." So
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that you look at that. I really think that this was the setup Drew for a big moment, but it also because if he cashes in on Seth, then you gotta do something because no matter what, you gotta get your get back somehow, some way. So why not let Drew have that moment he deserved? It was beautiful. Shoot, I was ready to shed a tear. That's how great it was. And then
Let's
Damian
talk about
cashes,
shedding tears with these guys. Come on now.
huh?
Oh, you ready to shed a tear?
I mean, Drew McIntyre's my guy because you told me that he was trash back in 2012,
Wow.
and I told you he was gonna come back, and you was like, "Nah, man, he's done. He's cooked." Him and John Morrison. Now, one of them still cooked, but I don't talk bad about John Morrison no more.
Jomo's a good guy.
I had a great conversation with Seahawk. Shout out to Cam, and I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Oh,
Yep.
I learned that he was
Now you feel bad.
yeah,
That's right. That's right. Now you feel bad. Jomo's
yeah,
a good guy.
yeah." So, but yeah, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, Drew finally did it. And I remember like, yeah, he proved me right all these years, and now to get that moment again. But
Mm-hmm.
with him and Damian, I think this is good because it's going to keep us interested. I think Damian stays on Raw. I'll be interested to see what happens. And I think ultimately, Drew gets the moment back. But I think this is going to be a rotating world title.
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
I think we're going to rotate between them are those guys. I would love to see Jey Uso get an opportunity. I don't know right now,
Nah, he's
but
not ready.
you don't think he's ready? I mean,
He right now, like right now, Jey Uso's having his face run, right? Where he's like
mhm.
he's the new people's champion. It doesn't matter what he does. He comes out, people love him. He does his spot. He's always gonna be at the top of the card, which is good for him. You know what I mean? So it's like it goes back to what you say, what Brandon says a lot of times. Like, well, does he really need the world title? Like that. It's sometimes we're not like the whole point is to put butts in seats, and you can be a main event player without being a world champion. And my favorite example is Junkyard Dog. Hogan will tell you like at one point Junkyard Dog was like the most over guy on the roster, and they was like, but he wasn't champion, especially during that era. They're not gonna take the championship off of Hogan and put it on a black man. But
Well,
at one point, same thing with the
he
Wild
also couldn't
Samoans.
stay off of the stuff. That's the you
That
learn
that
later
that
on.
that too, that too. Wasn't dependable. But
Mhm.
same thing with the Wild Samoans. They said at one point the Wild Samoans were like the got the loudest reaction. But it was the racism. It's just call it what it is. You know what I mean? It was
Mhm.
during that era, it was okay for it to be that way, and it was kind of unspoken. It was like, well, it's just the way it is, you know. But yeah, I think Jey Uso's having that kind of run. Where it was like, well, he doesn't need the world title. Look at him, look how over he is. As long as the fans are cheering for him and he's always climbing, he'll end up being a people's champ. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the thing on Cody Rhodes only made it worse. Because think about it. Now they don't have to rush. They're like, well, shoot, if these long drawn out situations, if you can get the people behind you that much, the payoff is going to be worth it. Like, I imagine Jey Uso wins his first world title. Like, come on now. Like, that's going to, whenever that happens, because he's on that road, it's going to be nuts. So it's like they don't need to do it.
Oh, I don't think
But
he
when
would
they,
do it now though. I mean, I
yeah,
think
that's what I'm
I'm
saying. Like,
thinking
he's a contender, which is
that
also, was a big deal.
yeah, but that rotation of people, like you said, contending, and that could possibly that's down the line. Like I even think he would be after Gunther.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. He's on his way. Because like I said, by the time he gets to that point, everybody's gonna be like, all right, we're ready for a Jey Uso run. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that World Heavyweight Championship is definitely going to be a rotating title. Like it's let's go back to using this opportunity to build people. But the prototype 619 says Priest is going to SmackDown. I feel like Raw is going to get loaded up to get ready for Netflix in January. Cody and the Bloodline going to be on Raw calling now. That was kind of my idea, because you think about it, Fox isn't paying the big bucks anymore after a while. Like, they're going back to Universal. So like SmackDown will be going to USA. And Netflix, they're going to make a big splash. So that's, of course, that's when the Rock Prize show back up again, and things of that nature. But yeah, yeah, was that all you had to say, Brian H? Okay,
Yep.
well, how about you, brother Hugh? Good for
As far
business,
as
bad
Daniel
for business.
Well, at first, I didn't think it was going to be good for business because I wasn't sure if the crowd would adapt to him being champion. I didn't think he was like, I hate to say it this way, championship worthy
Wow.
as far as like leading the business or leading a brand.
Yeah, being the type of guy.
Yeah. But the crowd proved me wrong. Because when he came out, they went crazy. They popped
did.
like crazy. Like
I was disappointed how much the crowd cheered for him.
It was loud, and I wasn't expecting that at all. So I'm gonna have to say good for business just for that. I'm eager to see what's next for him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna have it for too long, maybe a couple months, maybe. But it's great. Well, brother Nick Bram, he changed my whole perspective on it. But with the Puerto Rican, being the first Puerto Rican since Pedro Morales, so I'm like, look,
Yeah, it's a
I'm
little
all
heavy.
for it now.
Right.
I'm all for it because I know how I felt when Kofi won it.
Yeah, and that's that. You look at it from a different perspective. You're like, oh shit, that makes sense. And the crazy part, go ahead.
I was just say one thing you brought up about the cash-ins, man. It's almost one of those things that anybody can cash in. It's going to be a pop.
Yeah,
we was there
with
Daniel Bryan, and obviously looking back at it, he was popular, but
he hadn't
that
turned
was
that
like
corner yet.
Yeah, and that was like the beginning.
That's when he first started doing the yes. Right after that,
and even in Detroit, and think about this: Detroit, Michigan, a black city.
Yep.
Io Sky cashes in on a black woman, but people love that Money in the Bank pop. Like, that Money in the Bank cash. So it's like no matter what, So I can understand why y'all was disappointed, but boy, yeah, they got super loud.
Yeah, I was shocked, brother Hugh. I really was. I was like, oh no, they still wanted this to happen, because I figured, I said maybe the fans would be like, we got to pull this back a little bit, but when he came out there, he was on fire, and I was like, no. And like I said, the thing that Triple H does now is he has a way. Stuff used to be very predictable. You're like, okay, there's no breathing room. You hear wrestlers all the time talk about take your time in the ring, right? Take your time in the ring. And as fans, it's only so much we can relate to that because we're not in the ring. But it's like, what do you mean by take your time in the ring? It's like, back in the day, if Vince was still running the show, that would have happened so quickly and it would have been so obvious, right? As soon as Drew McIntyre would have won, CM Punk would have beat him up, or CM Punk would have did something, and you're like, oh, okay, I know what's about to happen next. You know what I mean? Versus when Drew McIntyre won, they took their time, they gave him moments, he cried, he got out the ring, he went to his wife. In my mind, there was no way in the world I was even thinking about a cash in. It's because, like you said, you look at him and he got very emotional. I was like, oh man, I'm kind of emotional. It's like you said, Brian H. I was like, I can admit it too. I was like, oh, this is special because he deserved that moment because he didn't get it. Went to his wife,
crying with him.
Because
really
Seth
telling
looked
these
at him and
stories
said,
now.
he looked at him and said, you Evan deserved it. I was like, you don't fake these things. Like, they're not that good actors. And like I said, once again, you're seeing these things and now you're distracted. You're not thinking about those other things because you're like, I'm caught up. But the moment is that good where I'm not like, all right, this doesn't make any sense. Let me get to the next thing because I'm living in the moment. And then he wants to run his mouth to CM Punk, and I know they got beef. And I see CM Punk's face, and I see he's literally irritated. And I'm all eyes on CM Punk. I'm like, oh, CM Punk's about to pop him because I'm saying to myself, all the speculation, that arm, he hadn't had that cast on all week. He's been at all his events. He's never wore that stuff.
You know what? When I saw him do that, my fault. I don't even mean to cut you off.
No, yeah, go ahead.
The first person I thought about was you. Because you said that a while back. It was like, yeah, CM Punk is not really as injured as he want us to believe.
Because
I was like,
when you say I'm tearing a tricep and you don't get surgery, I'm like, you have an option? And I'm like, okay. And then it wasn't too long after that, he was lifting and stuff. I was like, oh, once again, I'm so distracted because their beef is getting real tense. And now now I'm looking at CM Punk. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. CM Punk's getting irritated, and we all know that CM Punk will walk out of a company if he's that irritated. You know, we've heard a story about him and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. So like when he looks like he's getting upset, you're like, wait a minute, pay attention.
We saw it.
Yeah, clearly. And then you see Drew McIntyre get up on the table like, photographer, take a picture of this. I want this frame right here. And now, mind you, I'm all locked into this beef. And all of a sudden, CM Punk drops him. I say, oh, okay. CM Punk's healthy. Once again, not paying it any mind. And then all of a sudden, the music I was like, oh no, I didn't even see this coming. And it's like that's that as you say, brother, you let him cook, right? Like that whole moment took me away from even thinking about it cash in. And then all of a sudden that happened. I was like, crap, I'm genuinely surprised about it. But brother Brandon, goodness gracious, good for business, bad for business.
So I'm gonna take points from each because I wrote down.
Wait. You said you wrote it down. I
wrote down. Yeah, I got notes because watching it, I knew something was going to happen because you can always tell. You can feel when a cash is about to happen.
So you felt it coming.
Yeah, and I was sitting there telling you, I said, Damien's coming. He about to cash in. And I kept saying that because Drew was taking way too long. I said, why? Because everybody else at WrestleMania, when the match was over, they cut the lights off. And then they would put your eye towards the screen to let you see what's going to be next so the wrestlers can leave. This time, his music kept going. He went over to his wife. Okay, he had his moment. Good.
Mm-hmm.
But then he looked at Punk. I said, oh, no, don't do it. Bad idea. Just leave. And it was so funny because when Damien music hit, the crowd knew because, like Brian said, you cheer for the cash-in. It could have been anybody cashing in, but everybody cheers for that cash-in moment. And all I kept saying was, but what has Damian Priest did? Then I thought back to night one. He really didn't do much in that match. He played it extremely safe because he ain't going to ruin his world title run. So now, when he cashed in, at first I was of the feeling of, let's see what he can do. I like Punisher Martinez. I think he didn't have enough time at NXT. I didn't understand the Damian or the Priest character, but we know that was a whole different era. That's what we're going to say.
Remember, he came out as a playboy at one point, and NXT, maybe he's in hot tubs. He was the Archer of Infamy. Like, bro, who are you?
In hot tub with the belt, but we ain't gonna talk about that belt abuse.
Mm-hmm. Belt abuse. Yeah, there's a name for it.
Yeah. So when he cashed in, and it was like, okay, my bias inside, I was like, do I really want this? And then yesterday, like Hugh said, Nip Ram changed my whole perspective.
Yeah,
and I'm all in because when he said about healing camp, it was like 1 minute he had it. It's the fact that they have a world champion
representation
that's of Puerto Rican descent, and I was like, that made it so much more for me. It
made sense all of a sudden. You're like, oh, shoot.
This is the feel good moment that we needed. That I kind of wanted was Alita in Puerto Rico to just beat Rhea for that one night, have her give it back on SmackDown just to have that moment. And I was like, that's how I felt about Zelina. Somebody who had been around the business forever, deserved that moment, even though she had that match, the most over match on that card, next to Bad Bunny, of course. But it was like, holy crap. I said, that's how I felt with Zelina. I was like, this is how people were reacting because you could see, it's a difference in joy when you know you're winning and joy when you're like, I've won. And it was like, you could just see it, his expression, everything, like he's validated. This is everything I worked for. Hearing him talk afterwards, and we know Damian Priest's story. It's like you deserve this. You definitely deserve this to the point that you are the example of work hard, pay off, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted Cody to go to SmackDown, but I kind of want him to go to SmackDown because I feel like we often talk about people work better on certain shows. Cody kind of just works on Raw now.
Yeah, when he was the first person to come out, I was like, oh shoot, that title's supposed to be on SmackDown.
Right. But I get it. He can make appearances, but I was so happy. So I think it's good for business because you got this global company doing global things now. And with I don't know if you realize this, and this is something else. In every match, it was sponsored by somebody.
It was
every
they got that money.
And I know people said about the one
sponsored by Wingstop.
And look, all I kept saying, at least it wasn't Kool-Aid. I know people was upset that it was Wingstop. I said, well, at least it wasn't. So we going not to mention what it was
versus the producers.
Yeah. Oh man, listen.
And the whatchamacallit match was sponsored by Aquafina, which was
Yep.
just as racist. But
Mhm.
you talk about product placement.
Yo,
Yeah.
big business is racist. That's crazy. All that money was made just based like just subtle racism, man. But it's like it's so confusing because all they care about is green. That's the only color they worried about.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
Is
I
that
agree.
Mike? Who's that? Rose who take network? Is that what you call it? No, that's Lynn.
That's Lynn.
That's Lynn. Mouthing off of Mike is what I was thinking about. That's Lynn.
Shout out to Lynn. That trust me, there's a couple follow shows that we got to participate in. So shout out to the Bros Who Think Network and
The New Day.
You did.
Yeah,
Usos. But he
So
said
on
that
and
was
so
the best
forth.
soundbite ever.
Oh.
I need Lynn to go over to Instagram and check his messages I sent him. Lynn, please go check Instagram.
check your Instagram messages. Lynn. Before we get into the main event,
Knuckles
like I
was
said,
there.
Knuckles definitely was
Yeah.
there. So you talking about celebrities? Knuckles was there. When I
But he
saw,
came
yeah,
out of nowhere.
definitely
He teleported in. He was sitting behind him. I was like, wait a minute. But you know,
Oh,
NXT, they
shoot.
kept having to change they had all the posters lined up and they had to keep. I was like, hey, what is that? You gotta get not watch wrestling. I said, what is all that? All that lined up on the stage. And it was just for them to keep changing the signs in the ring. They was going around putting it on the ground, they was putting it everywhere.
So with that being said, I want everybody to go through and talk about all their favorite moments of WrestleMania this year. Just shoot them off, whatever you got to say. Because like I said, once everybody gets through, we're gonna wrap up with the main event because that was the man that was like the climax to a lot of things, and it seemed like it wrapped up more than one story. And I think we got some things coming from that, which we're going to address. So like I said, so it's so much 2 nights. We don't have time to get into everything, but Brian H, what were some of your favorite moments about WrestleMania this year? Night 1, night 2, anything. Just would you enjoy this year the most?
The 6 women's tag match. You know,
Okay. What about that match that you enjoyed the most?
Shoot, I mean the entrance, just to see 3 powerful black women come up
That
like
was dope.
Destiny's Child, that was amazing.
That they did it like wrestling Destiny's Child.
Yeah, and you know, I say that with the utmost respect as a fan of Destiny's Child. I sat here and watched it again today with my daughter, and you know, it was great to see, and you see that. I mean, that representation is just like you never thought you would see anything like that 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
it's front and center. It's not a side. It's not a side act.
Exactly.
What about you, brother Hugh? Some of your favorite moments and highlights from WrestleMania night 1, night 2. It was a lot, man.
I wasn't even going to go to WrestleMania. I was going to go to NXT because they had a solid show through
Bro,
and
Stand
through.
Deliver was good, gosh. Like that's how you started your weekend off. I was like, yo,
They do it all the time.
Every
time.
match hit. Every match.
All
hit.
of them. You are absolutely right, bro. Every match hit. I watched every last one. I was like, oh, I got through the whole show. I was like, dang, it's over.
And the
That's
3
what we
big fellas,
said.
they stole the show.
You said who?
To be honest, the 3 big fellas.
Oh, bro,
Dijak. Yeah,
I was so shocked. I didn't
crazy
think.
match.
I didn't think that. What's his name? What's the other guy? I forgot his name.
Briggs.
Yeah,
Dijak,
I didn't.
or Oberford.
Briggs. I didn't know if he was going to be able to hang with Dijak. You know, Dijak moves. We know he moves. 6'8" moves.
Yeah.
And we know what Obi Femi is. He's very athletic. But I was pleasantly surprised, and I was like, man, they didn't do too much. It wasn't stiff. If you look at the NXT after WrestleMania, freaking Ivar, another big man that moves, has stepped up to challenge Obi Femi for the North American Championship, and his very old school Hanson look. You know, in his War Machine days from Ring of Honor. I was like, okay.
You noticed that too?
Yeah, I was like, this is very Hanson-ish.
Yep. I want to mention my fault. Go ahead.
No, it's your turn.
I was going to take it back to WrestleMania real quick. I want to mention these entrances by Rhea Ripley. First of all,
oh, that joint was dope,
bruh. She's a superstar. That's all.
Big time.
She's it.
Yeah.
She's it. Her entrance was everything. And then
Get through that long hair one. That's all.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Definitely did.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
And then Roman night 2. Man,
bro.
I felt like I was in the presence of. I hate to say it, but I felt like I was in the presence of God. It sounded heavenly. It definitely did when he
With
walked
the
down to the
live
ring.
orchestra.
The live orchestra, whoever the young lady was, she was killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to
Oh my gosh,
Megan and T Call. They was on the
gave me
drums
goosebumps.
in the band.
Yeah, no, that it's anytime, to your point, brother. He's when you can bring that to life, like that's something you see on TV. Like I said, that's comic book stuff, that's movie stuff, and to be able to see that
Right.
live, like yo, there's no better performance than that though. But yeah, it was.
The
Is
Rock
there
had a
anything else
dope
about
interest too.
you said who?
The Rock, that
The
whole
Rock is
new
ridiculous, bro.
changing from the If
Yeah,
You Smell to
I
Hollywood
love his
Rock.
music.
I
Yeah,
like it.
I
man.
I
love
like
his
it.
music because
And see,
I was
'cause I
never a
missed it
fan
in
of the.
Brooklyn.
Okay,
So I saw it, like I was like, oh, he changed it. But what
it's the
happened was,
mix. Yep.
yeah, I got there. Like by the time I got to the show, he was already in the ring. Because catching the train. But man, staying at WrestleMania, look, it was freezing by then, but it was
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, it definitely was worth it.
Nah, that was so. Yeah, definitely the entrances were amazing. They definitely would have. Any other thing you want to highlight specifically about WrestleMania this weekend, brother Hugh?
No, I'm gonna let Brandon go ahead and get into it.
Okay, brother Guy, Belt King, sir. What did you? Some of your favorite moments, matches, anything for WrestleMania night 1, night 2. Like I said, it's NXT Stand and Deliver the whole weekend, man. That's like I say, we don't have a whole lot of time to get into it all, but man, like tell us, some of your favorite moments, matches, everything.
Well, one of my favorite was Mark Briscoe winning the ROH
That was
World
dope.
title.
Yep,
That
big
was
deal.
validation. We know we're totally biased towards Mark and Jay
Big time.
Briscoe, but it was
Always will be.
just seeing that it brought sheer joy, and just seeing everything, locker room emptying out, everybody happy that he did it.
Mhm.
Definitely a proud moment. It was great. That 100% I'm glad I got to witness that. Stand and Deliver. I thought No Mercy and Great American Bash was good. I forgot about them two. Stand and Deliver definitely did that, just sitting in there. And it was like, when we got out, we was like, why didn't they give us one more match? They could have went 5 more minutes. We were complaining that it wasn't enough.
Definitely,
It was
They
like,
tease you. They said, "No, we just getting the weekend started."
and that's what
Right.
it felt like. And of course, my moment got ruined when my guy came out, and he was cracking up because, of course, I'm trying to record Alien off entrance. The one thing I wanted, because that's my guy, and these people come walking past me, and people forget how to walk too. By the way,
Oh my
they're
God.
moving like backwards in time in front of me, and she's like, "Oh, sorry," and then the guy was like, "Oh, my fault." I was like, "It's over." And then he was say, "Get the point, get the point." I was like,
Point.
"That's not even what anymore." Because he did that.
He's get the point. I said no.
Yeah,
I
Not
was
worth
so
So-
mad, bro.
I was. That for NXT Stand and Deliver, of
Mhm.
course, the highlight of that was the North American Women's title, which you didn't even tell you that he disappeared to go try to
Oh,
find
yeah.
it he went to go
He
find
said
it at
he
the
said it on Championship Culture yesterday. I saw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You said
He
I got
definitely
him
went to go
looking
look
for the
for it.
belt. I said, "Dang, already?" Also, he went to the concession stand. Like maybe they got it sitting out here.
Hey, look, Brandy Savage, who's in the comments, he was doing the same thing. He was searching on his phone trying to find it. We all on WWE Shop trying to find it. But for WrestleMania as a whole, I will say the stories of night 1 were great. I'm glad they split the tag belts up. That was a
Mhm.
fun,
Yeah.
entertaining match, and it felt valid. It felt valid what they did. And then night 2, yeah, Bailey interest kind of fell flat, but I'm glad that her and Io were able to wake up the crowd. Because when Io came out, it was like nobody cared. It was dead
Yeah.
silence, but they woke the crowd up.
But
And that tells you something about a superstar. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, but you know what that is though, right? Like because we've never seen her by herself. Like every presentation that we got of her, she was with Damage Control. So you're expecting, the whole thing. And then like she was by herself, and you're like, she hadn't been by herself since she re-debuted at SummerSlam
Correct.
in Nashville. You know what I mean? So and nobody understood Bailey's interest. And the TV, I don't know about when you went back and watch it, but
Yeah.
it's like they kept coming back from commercial break late. It was always like a half second, 2 seconds late. I'm like, yo, what? I want to like go back to the show before the music starts. Like by the time they would go to commercial break and come back, the music had just started. They were already out. I'm like, come on, man, Peacock, get it together.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, because
So
I don't
that-
think they really produce for the Peacock commercials.
No, they don't. Like
Oh,
they
they just-
it was like because they weren't really commercials. It would be like, well, Peacock's taking a quick break, and then like they would
Mhm.
come back from these, and it was just really just like these blank screens. It was never commercials,
Yeah.
and it was like I was like a half second too late every single time, and I'm like, bro, y'all got to come back faster than this, man. Y'all messing up my show. Yeah, I don't think nobody understood Bailey's entrance. Like, what is she like? This Egyptian like Osiris, Kyrus? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
and I
have
was
no
like,
idea.
but it was weird because it said role model and try to be in that moment. But I'm glad she won the Rumble, won the title. I'm happy because Bailey's my girl.
Let's do
And I'm
what you do
telling you,
best, Bailey. Let's go get in that
yes,
ring. Let the bell ring. Let's do it
right.
because she's one of I told you she's one of the wrestlers that made me like become a fan of women's wrestling because I've not historically been a fan of women's wrestling, but I watch her wrestle. Oh, this girl can go. Her and Becky Lynch and Sasha, were three that I was like I like them a lot. But
And I'll
but
tell
yeah,
you, the
what
finish was just
mhm.
good. And then the last thing, I'm so happy. I asked for it and asked for it. I know we didn't get Cody's new music, that downstate release, but I
Yeah.
was so happy we got a prelude before Cody's music.
Mhm.
And that prelude was so epic. But it got outstaged, and I know you can make a song more epic. But Roman's entrance, I remember I said, nobody's moving. Like from our perspective, it looked like
it looked
everybody
that way too.
when it was like this.
Everybody was
Everybody was
there,
just in
eyes
awe.
wide open,
Yeah.
mouth
You
wide
could
open, just in
feel
awe, bro.
Look at
That's
Brian H.
it.
Look at Brian H.
the live orchestra.
Yep.
Man,
Yeah.
it was like you had chills. It was like it was something that moment right there, and he didn't even like when he walked through him.
He didn't
He
waste
just
any
walked
time.
down. He was like, "I'm here," and it was just like the orchestra, and for them to be high school students, and it was like
That's what
all
I'm
singing.
saying.
They were so good.
It sounded like
And
the actual audio played. I was like, that sounds just like the original track.
yes, and the vocal, and then
Mhm.
they kept looping it, and they didn't
Yeah.
miss a beat either. It was like even you like, oh, no, and it would just start back. I was like, this is freaking awesome. That moment right there was probably the highlight. Like if that didn't happen, I would say Cody's entrance because you know all about the entrance. And
Yeah.
you were right. AJ got his new metal music, but
I wasn't feeling
what you
it. He was
heard,
like, they don't want
I was
none.
about to ask you how you feel about that. Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
it'll grow on me, but I was just like, I just didn't get it. It didn't hit. You know what I mean? The first time we listened to it, everybody's like, oh, that sounds like DMX song. And it just, for some reason, it just kind of stuck, but it just,
But that's usually why you don't debut music at WrestleMania.
yeah,
It's like
because
I
everybody's
won't,
used to it. Mhm.
yeah, I won't go back and watch WrestleMania 37 simply because the tribal chief I don't watch that match because he don't got the bloodline music. He got the old
Got
Shield
yeah,
music.
old stuff. Oh, yeah.
don't.
Yeah,
No,
got
that
Shield.
that makes sense. Yeah, but nah, man. Is anything else that you wanted to highlight about WrestleMania this year, brother Brandon?
That was it was an experience. It was cold and it was an
Go
experience.
to one you got to fly to before you give up on WrestleMania. Go to a warm city.
I don't know if I can take that. The crowds.
That's why
I
I
never
wanted to be.
mind.
I wanted to
The
be
crowd.
either Atlanta or Las Vegas next year, like somewhere warm.
But I think
'cause
Vegas
wanna-
would be worse with people. I think Vegas.
Yeah, and it's gonna be hot. So it's gonna be the reverse end. It's gonna be a lot of tank tops. Sun's out,
But I'm
guns out.
saying,
Brian H.
you
Jack
can-
Daddy.
and I don't know, was the world
Dizzle.
the world just seemed like it was so much chaos. It looked like a flea market or a swap meet. It was just like people just grabbing stuff left and right. I was
You know
like,
why? Can I get a pass to say this?
Say it.
Go ahead.
Because it's the most nigga WrestleMania ever.
Yeah, there's a lot of color folks out there.
but that's all.
Definitely, bro.
He was gonna say it when we walking in. He said, "Yeah, because we gonna walk in and turn around and walk back out." We walked in, looked at each other. I was like, "I'm ready to go."
I kid you not. When you look at like WWE World,
Yep.
I've never seen this many black people
That's dope.
go to
Yeah, it is.
any like the WWE Access events,
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. It's usually like this year, it felt 70-30ish. Like
Really?
yes,
No, it was like
Yeah.
80-20.
Dang.
Until we got to the stadium. We got to the stadium.
Yeah.
It was like
50-50.
40-60. No, it was like because the people that had on shorts didn't look like
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
They had on shorts and t-shirts.
but
And we had to
like,
look at us like, you're in the same place we at?
This is a very black WrestleMania, though.
yeah,
Like,
because
down to
even
the-
like now
Mhm.
Dallas, they had the photo. Like every year, you got the photo culture show. You got Wally Mania. Boom,
Mhm.
you know that's where everybody gonna be at. But the
Yep.
WWE events are kind of like where it's like, okay, you know, the normal neck beards and stuff. Man, I was like, that's sure every time though, you know, and I was like, yo, but yeah, it look. Shout out to Jocelyn Navarro. We all said Wale Mania, and this is our first time meeting each other in person. We've like been connected like on social media all through the Wrestle for the Culture days. And because I used to always cover her, and she would be like, "Yo, what up, Wale?" She's like, "You coming to for the culture?" I said, "I gotta see how it's gonna come on, yo. You know it's for niggas." I said, and sure enough, that was the fun show to be at. I got to see Too Cold Scorpio and whatnot. Like,
He was there.
and of course, you know, the greatest future pro wrestling of all time, pro wrestler, well, not future, but you know what I'm saying, future of the business, Jay Bougie. You know, I was
Shout
mad I
out
missed
to
this
Bougie.
match. Yeah,
He was
shout
on
out to
TNA.
Bougie.
Did y'all see him in TNA?
Bro, he had me dying on TNA. You know, when he came out there and he did his little thing, I was like, "Oh, that's let's check him out." So yeah, he getting that psychology there. That face he made, he was bad looking like I just.
Yeah, he
I was
gonna
like,
make
"Okay, I
sure
see you, brother."
you put him in the spot. He gonna make sure you remember his spot.
Nah, because
Absolutely.
that clip went viral. Everybody kept talking about like that's the only clip you kept seeing from that whole segment was
Yeah.
him trying to interfere. But yeah, WrestleMania was nuts for me, man. Like I said, we got to get to this main event because, like I said, we're running low on time. But just Logan Paul's ridiculous. He shouldn't be that good.
Randy, Randy's expressions. Randy made that match.
I gotta go back and see how it came on TV.
Randy Orton had
imagine.
First of all, the entrance. First of all, Kevin Owens came down and he see that Logan Paul came out. This is what I'm trying to say though. This is the stuff I'll say this about WrestleManias. Every match made sense. Right. It wasn't a situation where I watched the match and I said, I gotta leave real quick or do something else. Like, you know, of course you have your favorites and stuff you prefer and don't prefer, but
There was no bathroom breaks.
No, because they like the calm down match, even with the calm down match between Bobby Lashley and the
and that was the second match.
That's what I'm trying to say though. Like, and I was like, yo, like this is supposed to calm you down, but it was so funny the way they did it is because it was a fun match. You had Bubba Ray Dudley, ECW original. You had Snoop Dogg on commentary, and I was like, okay, cool. This is Triple H knowing, like, let's just make this fun for the moment because that's what it's meant to be. You get in, you get out. Kevin Owens comes to the ring in that little golf cart because he sees that Logan Paul had that big prime truck, and then he goes back. He rides down there. He rides back up there, tells Randy Orton to get in the back of the thing. Then Randy Orton rides down. I was like, Kevin Owens is having a blast right now, Randy Orton. Fun stuff. The tag titles match was fun. It caught me off guard because I thought it was a surprise. I knew something was up.
Hold on, the way did you see he had KO on top of the cart? He had wrote KO.
The same way he wrote Prime, like that's the stuff Kevin Owens does. Like every year he has a KO Mania shirt. He wrote KO on the freaking Eagles golf cart. I tripped out when he drove back up there backwards and looked around and said, "Come on, like just get on." And Randy was like, "I guess." And I was like, "Randy Orton needs good friends." But even like I said, even before the Stand Deliver, Mello Hayes and Trick Williams, man, their feud will define this era of NXT for them, just like for a lot of people, like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa define their era. You know what I mean, and you know, so on and so forth. But no, WrestleMania was absolutely insane. Sami Zayn and Gunther. I know Chaser Culture, you guys were talking about that earlier. You know, like was Sami the right one? And you know, he was kind of the Rocky of the, you know, that's he fit into his space and I thought he was the right one because they kind of owed Sami for what he did previously with the bloodline. And Brian H. trashed him, was like, "Oh yeah, he lost his steam." And I was like, well, he just had to wait for it. It's because I think Gunther goes on to do bigger and better things, obviously. And, you know, Sammy's a workhorse. So, you know, anytime you're trying to figure out who's up next, you always put your belt on the workhorse until then. So, I thought that made sense as well.
Another one I won't talk bad about. Sami Zayn, such a nice guy.
Yeah, see, there you go. Yeah, Sami Zayn was nice to Brian H. Seth Rollins was annoyed. Not at Brian H. He was just annoyed. Yeah, so it's like every match I enjoyed. I had fun. Even night one, the main event between The Rock and Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, everything just made sense. And that brings us to the main event. Sorry, Brian H. We got to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Cody
Dylan.
Rhodes. Look at the sexy graphic that Brother Hugh always does. Shout out to Brother Hugh. Cody Rhodes finally finished the story. Fellas, a lot happened in this match. We knew it was going to be Bloodline rules. We knew The Rock was going to come out. Side note, I'm surprised Championship Culture Guys has not even talked about this People's Champion belt that he received at the Hall of Fame from Muhammad Ali's widow. That
You know
belt
what?
is absolutely beautiful.
I said that earlier. I talked to Brandon earlier about that. I said, you know what? We forgot all about the People's Champion.
They have never addressed this chance. First of all, The Rock came out there like he actually won it. And I
All
was
right,
like,
so exclusive. That
Like
was going to
he-
be with the speed belt, but the speed belt didn't debut.
okay. Well, listen. He walked out. He walked out with that thing like he won that joint the night before, and I was like, The Rock is really rocking. Like if that was ever going to be his like customized belt, that thing is absolutely gorgeous. That's also
I like
a highlight.
that better
but
than the one that's on the shop.
that's what I'm trying to
Yes.
say. Like
Yes,
they
yeah.
should have sell that one. Forget the other one. I know the other one was the original concept, but this one right here is absolutely
It's
beautiful.
fire. Yeah.
Hold on, brother
Yeah.
Brandon. Is the globe big enough?
And is it blue? Is it
It
blue
is.
enough too? Is it blue enough?
It is. It's the right size. It's
Okay,
enough.
fair enough.
I had to
It's
make
a
It's
good
got
sure.
look. But
It's
you
got-
realize I don't know if those are stones in the bull's eye or is that
They are.
That's what I'm trying to
No,
figure
they
out.
are. Those
Yeah,
are
I
rubies.
could-
Those are rubies.
Okay. But the globe is perfect. The globe it's enough globe.
I don't know if you're familiar with you guys familiar with Hazard F5? You know the belt guy who does a lot of belt reviews. Hazard F5.
Yeah.
Hazard F5. Yeah, he did it. I haven't looked at it yet, but he has. He always does his review and stuff. But yeah, that was also a highlight.
Right.
But
He does.
yeah, but yeah, man. I think we all had a feeling that they were gonna probably lose night one, obviously to interference. Now my question is, we've all seen this. We're exhausted from watching a match, and I know a few weeks prior we're going to end on this note because we got to get out of here. We talked about all these scenarios of what could potentially happen, and we talked about what we wanted to see. Also, shout out to Jay and Jimmy Uso. Like everybody was mad about their match, like it wasn't what they wanted it to be. But I'm like, dude, it played its part. They can't make the whole. If Jimmy and Jay wanted to, they could have stole the show at WrestleMania. That wasn't their job to do that night. Let me just put that out. That's just disclaimer. And how did you guys like how this all played out? It's because, like I said, we went through this 1,000 times in our heads. We felt like we waited all this time just to watch this main event. We had a match go on, pump and circumstance, a back and forth between two titans, two warriors. Roman Reigns had to find that opponent that was worth it. I mean, he went through almost everybody. And Cody Rhodes was finally the guy that dethroned him, but he had some help, obviously. So he had somebody to help neutralize the bloodline. So you had Jimmy come out first. This is the finish we're talking about. Jimmy comes out first, strikes first blood. Jay comes out, that's one pop, and then he tackles his brother off the stage into a table. That was great, right? And then we get into once again, because this is the same, it's rinse and repeat. This is the same thing. This is bloodline strategy. This is what they've always done. So then all of a sudden, the enforcer comes out. Solo comes out. He does his thing, but all of a sudden, Solo is not as effective. He hits Solo's brawn and his brute is not stronger than Cody's heart. Right? We're telling stories in the ring, right? And Cody's not giving up. And then all of a sudden, redemption. John Cena makes his way to the ring. We said that he was going to be part of the group, right?
Yeah.
John Cena comes to the.
He was the
Cody
one that neutralized Solo.
There you go, because they had a past history. Like John Cena lost his last match to Solo Sikoa, right? Comes out. First of all, he gets hit back on Roman. He hits. He takes out Solo. He F5s not F5. He FUs attitude adjustment to Roman Reigns just to get his hit back. Gets out the ring, neutralizes Solo. The Rock's music hits. The Rock comes down there in some probably $1 million bell bottoms, looking like he's fresh off the yacht. Championship belt in tow. Him and Cena have a moment. Two guys have had two classics at WrestleMania.
Once in a lifetime, twice a lifetime.
twice in a lifetime. It made sense. John Cena goes, "You can't see me." He swings at him. He misses. Rock bottom, and it's like, okay, well, why does that happen? Well, clearly, they tell a story. John Cena's been out of wrestling for a lot, so it doesn't
I
matter
mean,
how
The
big
Rock
his heart
saw him.
is.
That's why it happened.
You said what?
The Rock saw him. Of
Yeah,
course, that's why it happened.
I mean, that's it. He froze. Like he froze. He was
Yeah,
like, "Oh." He took a swing at him. He missed him. Boom, rock bottom. Get the F out of my ring. Rock has got a potty mouth.
yeah, he
Brock
definitely
gets out
does.
the ring. He pulls
His
off his
ring.
belt. He's got that Mama Rose weight belt. He's about to hand Cody uh another butt whooping, and the Undertaker. No,
No,
this is
Seth.
no
Seth
Seth
came out.
Rollins. Seth
Oh
Rollins.
yeah, Seth
Seth,
came.
Seth Rollins. First of all, the Shield music hits. Now, I want to hear what you guys have to say about this because I thought it was on
Mm-hmm.
purpose. Eh,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that now Seth Rollins had made it clear, I will be your shield. He made that very clear. And I think there was a very psychological, cinematic point to that. But there's also a part of me that goes, I think Triple H did that on purpose because in the midst of all the surprises, he hit that shield music and nobody knew what was coming down. He wanted to convince people that John Moxley might have been coming out of that crap.
Mhm.
Even the commentators was like, there's
Man,
no way in the world
yep.
this is possible. I was like, what's going on? It's because John Moxley has made it clear. He said before, like, yo, my contracts don't have no non-compete clauses in them. CM Punk said the same thing. He's like, yeah, so if I was working without a contract, I could have popped up on WT. Like he said that over and over again. And it's like,
Yep.
I feel like Triple H knew that. And just that tease of the Shield coming out, Rock's looking around. Like Seth Rollins is clearly in rough shape after the match he had already, but he made a promise. He said, I'm going to be your Shield. It was enough to try to distract, the moment for what happened. Before he could even get his chair up, Roman Reigns gets in the ring. First of all, he hates Seth Rollins. He hates the fact that Shield thing he keeps doing because he did that last time they faced off. Takes out Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins become a sacrificial lamb, for lack of better terms. Right?
Mhm.
Takes him out. Now the Rock is bragging like, "Oh, see, look, you try to take me out. You failed against the final boss. Light goes out, gong. Everybody loses it." Now, I'm telling you this perspective from somebody that watched it on TV versus someone that was actually it. So you guys probably had no idea what the cues were because when you're there, there's no commentary. You don't hear, you know what I mean? Like you have to literally watch what's in front of you. Gong goes off. It's the Undertaker. Undertaker comes out of nowhere. You know, the big. He retained his reputation for being the locker room sheriff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The guy that makes things right, the guy that makes sure he keeps things in order. And apparently, Undertaker's been watching this for a while and realized that this has to end. And he was doing his old job. The sheriff saddled up one more time, and he took out his old nemesis, one of his former rivals in The Rock. Takes out The Rock, gets out of there. Now it's 1-on-1. The bloodline has been neutralized. Cody Rhodes gets himself together. It's Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns picks up the chair. He has a decision to make. He could take out Cody right now. Referee's not there. Doesn't make a difference. Bloodline rules. Instead, he sees Seth, and he's reminded of all the stuff that he's been through with the Shield, with Seth, even in previous match when he came out dressed as he did in the Shield. And he decides to lose focus and take out Seth Rollins instead. Once again, Seth Rollins being Cody Rhodes' shield. Loses focus. Cody Rhodes capitalizes. 1, 2, 3. He finishes the story. Brothers, is this how you saw this all playing out? Is there something more you wanted to see? Is there something else you would have rather had? How would you have like go ahead, brother Hugh? Let's just start. Start with you. Let's go.
That's all I wanted. No disrespect to Undertaker. I popped when he came out, but I was waiting for that glass to
We was all
shatter,
expecting
man.
Stone Cold. Like let's keep it 100.
That's
It
the
wouldn't have
only
been
person I haven't seen live, and I was waiting for that.
we all assumed it was going to be Stone Cold because that's The Rock's
Yeah.
real nemesis. Like we did, you know what I mean? And I'm with you. But outside of that, what did you think, brother Hugh? Like I said, we talked about this for weeks, brother. We talked about this for weeks. We came up with our scenarios. We had all these bloodline scenarios. We talked about all these relatives because they were there. They were there.
Well, when that three count came down, I was shocked that it actually happened.
Yeah.
Because I knew there was I felt like I felt like they needed to pull the trigger. Like I said, I didn't want it to happen, but I
Mhm.
felt like they needed to pull the trigger. But when it actually happened, it was mind blowing to me, and I was just like, they actually did it. I thought somehow, some way, they was gonna throw a curveball in there, and Roman was gonna come out on top. But they did it because you hearing all this stuff about Jacob Fatu. He
Right.
uh he signed on Wednesday. We was at the B what was it the Battleground show,
Battleground.
and they yeah, we was at the Battleground show. He got pulled from that. He got pulled from GCW, and I
See,
was like,
see.
yeah, he's gonna show up. He's gonna show up. That didn't happen. So all in all, I was just surprised. I was shocked that it actually went down.
Mhm.
It was a great feeling.
Yeah.
Like Brian said, it was great to be in the presence of possibly one of the greatest moments ever,
Yeah. History.
and
It's
and,
history.
and,
Yeah.
and not only
And you were
WrestleMania
there.
history and WWE history, right?
Yeah, and
But
really pop culture history because that went
yeah,
everywhere, bro. That went viral. I was
everywhere,
shocked how viral that went. Like when I'm seeing like
everywhere.
Complex Sports and other ESPN shows, I'm like, dude,
ESPN, yep, all
these are
that.
like ESPN, the sports division usually comes up. But like when you seeing people's shows, like, hey, did you catch WrestleMania this weekend? And people are like, oh yeah, I was there. I was like, wait a minute, like. And then when Complex is like predicting the WrestleMania 41, like this is a wrestling fan thing. What are you guys doing? You guys are talking about sneakers and hip hop and music and art, and they talk about predicting WrestleMania 41. I'm like, what is going on?
Wrestling is back.
It really is
That's
though.
it. That's
Like
all I
I'm
have to say.
shocked,
It's back.
brother Brandon. It's such a monumental moment, and like I said, you guys historically were in the building. Like I said, we talked about this for weeks. We even talked about it in our preview show. We came up with our own scenarios of what could potentially happen and how it might go down. And as you heard Brother Hugh say, he was still nervous. Like, man, look, I still felt like it was going to be some type of swerve because, hey, can you blame the brother for 3.5 years, 4 years, man? There was times I felt like he should have lost to Brock Lesnar. I felt like he should have lost to Drew McIntyre. Like, there's plenty of moments where I'm like, he's supposed to lose, and he didn't. So, to have this moment now, how did you feel about this? Like the story of Seth Rollins giving his last little bit, him and Cody kind of squashing the beef, over being Dusty's sons, you know what I mean? And Seth Rollins kind of, doing whatever he had to do and had left in the tank to help Cody Rhodes in this moment, distracting Roman Reigns and the Rock as the final boss coming out with that gorgeous championship, and then the Undertaker coming
Hmm.
in to be the sheriff one more time to take out the Rock and neutralize this threat so they can be once again 1-on-1 to only finish this epic story that has gone far beyond anything we would have imagined, but yet it's given us one of these most historical moments. Now, I know I said a lot and I'm asking you to speak on it, but god dang, you were there. I need to know, what did you think about this main event? How did you feel about it? Is this how you wanted it to be? Were you expecting more, or did you get enough? Or
Well, it was crazy because I said 2024 would probably be the best year or the most memorable year in wrestling, and it's shaping up to be that way.
yeah.
So much good wrestling is happening. We can't help but to pay attention. And it was crazy because I believe it was Nick Ram said, "Oh, we're gonna get a dusty finish. Cody's gonna win.
Yeah.
Rock will come out, restart the match because it's bloodline rules."
There
And I
you go.
kept saying,
Sure.
"Oh gosh!" I said, "Oh,
You've seen
that's
it a
extra
thousand times.
shenanigans." Yeah, I was like, "That's extra shenanigans." I was like, "I hope not." So when the 3 count hit, I looked at him. Was like, "He really did it." Oh my god, it really happened. And
Yeah.
it was like that 3 count hit. It wasn't an immediate cheer. It was like,
No, everybody's like, wait a minute.
oh yeah, he
And I
did it.
paused
Like,
too for real. I was home and I
yeah,
paused. So trust me, I was in the house like,
like this
no,
happened.
and I just lost it.
And it was crazy because there's the nice graphic. It was crazy because we were sitting. It was like, yep, Jay got Jimmy. Boom, we called it. Boom.
Yep.
That's one.
John Cena, he got what you call it. I said,
Yep,
come on with
called
the
it.
glass shatter. Where's
There
the
you go.
glass shatter? And we heard the shield music. I said, that's not John Mox. And we couldn't see who
That's
it was
exactly
because it happened
right.
so fast.
Yeah.
We were like,
It was that way on
happened so
TV.
fast.
Like you heard
Yeah,
the
it was
music
like-
for a little bit, and you didn't see what was going on. You barely saw Seth Rollins even get in the ring before he got taken out.
Right. And then when The Rock took out Cena, I said, okay, give us Stone Cold because we know that's the nemesis.
There you
But
go.
I shared this
What did I
tidbit
say?
with you.
Hmm.
I shared this tidbit. I said, you know what's crazy? we was never going to have Stone Cold.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar could neutralize The Rock. Who's the person that dethroned The Rock, became the youngest WWE champion,
There you go. That's
took the
storytelling.
title from him. I said he was the one that needed to remember. He endorsed Cody. He's the last Avenger that would have
Yeah.
played into
He was
taking
a
The
Hawk.
Rock out.
He
Yeah,
was supposed to
he was
get-
going.
he was supposed to get his hit
I
back on
was like-
Roman because he's supposed to win at SummerSlam.
Exactly. So when that happened, I was like, I get why Undertaker is there,
Sure.
but we
Yeah.
were all waiting for Stone Cold. I was like, man, that was supposed to be Brock Lesnar. But got it, good, finished the story. The celebration was genuine, something that we probably wouldn't have gotten in the previous era. We probably would have just got some fireworks
It
and
was
had whoa, and
WrestleMania 10-ish.
so all I'm gonna say is, they broke kayfabe a little, but you could tell it
They
was still
definitely
all
did.
planned. And he called him out there, Triple H whispering stuff. Then Triple H told him, "Hey, go get in the middle so we can get the footage. We need these
I
shots
know,
of
right?
you."
Hey, you got
He
to
was
finish the
like,
documentary. Everybody
like,
clear the
hey,
ring.
come on, get this. Yeah, all right, that's enough now. But it was such a feel good moment because it was the feel good that we have been on this roller coaster ride for so long. I think we were all in shock because we wanted Drew to win. We wanted all these other people like Sammy,
I did.
Kevin
I did.
Owens. You know what I mean? Like I wanted
Edge,
Drew
I
to
wanted
win
Edge to
so
beat him
bad.
at SummerSlam. I mean, was it
Yeah.
SummerSlam?
Yeah, when he
Brian
fought,
Edge?
that was that SummerSlam.
That
Some-
was
when he-
When he had the
Money in
singles
the Bank.
match.
Money in the Bank. It was a green
Money
Money in
pay-per-view.
the Bank. Cena SummerSlam.
That's what it was. It was out because Money in the Bank. I said Edge come beat him. That's what he still had the gold gauntlet instead of the red yet. Bloodline wasn't even bloodline just yet.
It was still just but that's what I'm saying. It was like a surreal moment that we got to experience. And the video package before was done so rewind. Every video package felt different. It wasn't like a cookie cutter. It had its own, every match had its own soundtrack. And this match just had I'm gonna call this one epic. It was just epic.
That's
The
what it was.
soundtrack
That's
to this
exactly
match
what it
was just epic. 10 years from now, how we call back Rock in Austin, or how we call back Triple H and The Rock, we'll call back to this feud. This is a part of history that we'll say, how about that WrestleMania 40 match? You know what I mean? We'll keep calling back
of
to
course.
that. And to watch it out of time, to go back and watch it anytime, you can live in that moment because of the video package. And when he gets the pin, you feel like he did it. You know what I mean? The nice thing that he gave it to his mother in the ring. And I was like, oh, he's going to go get another belt. And that's me being me. I was like, he's going to get another
It's got to
belt.
be a belt.
He gave
Now.
his,
Sheesh.
yeah, I was like, he's good. But then he took it back from his mother. I said, let it keep that one. But that's how I felt about it.
Brian H. Man, sorry. He's over there rolling his eyes. Sorry. I know this is a tough subject for you, man, but you are a guy that appreciates good storytelling, and you know this, right? And so I'm curious to have your perspective. We were all Cody crybabies. We were like, it's except Brother Hugh. Brother Hugh has always. Let me be fair. He's always acknowledged his tribal chief. You know what I mean? Now Brother Hugh's always unbiased. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. He's unbiased. He's like, I'm Brother Hugh. It's whatever I feel like today. That's how he's always carried it. We're gonna keep it 100. He's always carried it that way. It's whatever he feels like today. Like he's never been one. If it's this, it is. If it's not, one day he was like, yeah, Cody Rhodes. But he said, you know what? Today I acknowledge my tribal chief for what he did. That's how he's always carried it. In all fairness, Brian H., you have been noticeably, historically, a member of the bloodline. Like I said, Rikishi called you nephew a couple years ago, and apparently you took that to heart. And to be in this space, to watch this come to an end. First of all, I watched a bunch of reactions on social media, which I thought was absolutely hilarious, and just consuming all the content. But we want to know how did you feel about this year's WrestleMania 40 main event? It's such a long story, just from start to finish, how we got here, the shenanigans, the everybody's input. I'm like, for instance, I'm extremely happy for the Undertaker that he got to have that moment. Is because we know that he's been struggling lately. He's been mentally, it's been difficult for him to stick around for shows. It's because he feels like he should be going to the ring, and he just got a chance to sit in the middle of it and feel it. You know what I mean? He took somebody for one last ride, and I was like, I'm glad he got to have that moment, that he got a chance to contribute and still feel like he was one of the boys and be involved without having to, break his body down or look bad. He's kind of got his That's his signature look now. Like, I'm like Batman. I don't get involved, but if it gets really, really bad, I can pop up at any time. And he literally does all, and that's all he needs to do. Lights, Sting can do it too if he wanted to. Lights go out, swing, let the lights go back out, and then you gone. But how did you feel about the main event, sir?
Real quick, that's another one I forgot who I was literally standing this close to, which was the Undertaker.
The Dead Man?
Yeah.
Holy cow! You left that detail out, buddy.
That's so much stuff happened this weekend.
It was a lot. This weekend was well worth the dollar. Like, you got your money's worth. But go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. People know
good, y'all. Listen.
that I enjoyed the Tribal Chiefs run.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It took us for a ride. We ate steak. I told Sir Wilkins, I said, don't you want to keep eating steak? I lived through the Bret Hart championship win. That's the WrestleMania. I said that my cousin who came over the house who didn't watch wrestling, I said, well, you're gonna have to go in my room and play video games because I'm about to watch WrestleMania.
That was his punishment. You got to go play the game, bro, because I'm about to watch Mania.
Yeah. But this right here was the biggest WrestleMania championship win of all time. Cody Rhodes winning the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship was the biggest WrestleMania championship win of all time. And I'm going to summarize this quick. It's the first time he's won the title, so that's a huge moment. Winning it at WrestleMania is the pinnacle. And then taking down Roman Reigns, the greatest champion, that's another pinnacle. So now we have this torch, regardless of what he do. I'm not even going to think about, okay, what's the reign going to look like? I'm going to acknowledge Cody Rhodes for an incredible story. And to everybody who walked out of Hollywood, California last year, crying, storming out of the arena, you're welcome. Because
I resent that.
if that moment that happened would have happened last year, you would not have had this same type of enjoyment.
Way flat.
Exactly. But I was sitting there and it's funny. Ben said today, he said, I knew it was over. I knew it was over and Roman was going to lose when all weekend. Because unlike a lot of the Cody Crybabies, I actually know most of the words to the song. It's on my gym playlist.
Right.
And all weekend I refused to sing. I said, no, I'm not doing it. They had at our meet and greet, they had different drinks. And one of them was like, Cody Suplex or Cody Cut or whatever. But the one drink that I wouldn't touch was the Cody WWE Championship. I'm like, I'm not anything that says anything with him about a WWE champion. No, don't give it to me. And when he comes out there on Sunday and he brings out his lovely wife. He brings out his lovely wife, and I see her, and I was like,
absolutely gorgeous, by the way.
She's having her moment too. Okay. And then the music hits. And as soon as it got to the wall, I said, oh, screw it. Whoa!
That's right. You just gave in.
I gave in. And that's what Ben was like, what? He said, that's what I knew. He's like, it's over. Because right before. So, like, this is the fun part. You have me, Kui PR, Cal going for Roman. You got Ben going for Cody. And he looks over before he said, look, I just want to shake your hands, say, however this ends, at the end of this match, it's been a fun ride for the past year. And, Cody finishes the story, and it was like, I'm going to live in kayfabe right now because it's fun. But when I go back and watch it, it's one of those things that just gives you chills. And you see it, and you think, it couldn't have happened to a better person. I loved WrestleMania. That was bigger than WrestleMania.
It was.
Because WrestleMania was just about a guy overcoming adversity. Okay, sure. You overcame everything. You overcame a lot of stuff we did. That we wasn't looking to go into a new era. Yeah, it was a smaller guy, but he wasn't the first smaller guy to win a championship. You know,
No,
10 years
yeah.
prior, CB had won. You
Mhm.
know, even when he won it, that was a big deal. But that was like another person was like, okay, finally somebody who worked hard reaches the pinnacle. With
Sure.
Cody,
Yeah.
it's somebody who works hard, reaches the pinnacle, and also you're crowning a new quarterback. You're
There
crowning
you go.
somebody to
Next
usher you
leader.
into another generation. And that's the reason why this was the biggest WrestleMania championship win of all time. Because even Hogan had to take us into WrestleMania. You
There you
know,
go. It's not like
and
he lost.
Austin
He won, beat Bob Backlund at WrestleMania.
exactly. And as big as Austin's was, the reason why this surpasses it, because Cody now has a different fight of he's with a not only he's in the new Paul Levesque era, but he's also in a new pop culture era, a new endeavor with this whole TKO group era. So he's
Yeah.
doing so much
Social
more.
media.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah,
expected
yeah.
to do more than what Stone Cold Steve Austin was, which sounds like, whoa, this is crazy, you know.
Sure.
So shout out to Cody Rhodes. Congratulations to him.
Oh man, you all said a lot, man. And WrestleMania was such an emotional weekend, and this is the most impactful WrestleMania we've had in such a long time. And I'm not going to even try to even reiterate or repeat the things that you guys said, because for all those reasons, this is such an epic moment. When you see people's responses to just wrestling, like, come on now, this is a thing now. You know, and even a lot of celebrities that went, they were all tweeting out saying, "Man, I had way more fun than I realized I was going to have." Like, I realized, like, this is an actual thing that we can do for fun, and it's not corny. It's, it's intense, and we see our favorites like The Rock and so on and so forth. And such a special moment, man. That we've been waiting all year for this, but now this is where we close the show, because we had some thoughts, but we have to finish this up. So Cody Rhodes wins. Two questions, two major things that we have to address, and we don't have to figure this out tonight, but we're going to end on this note, is because the way we end on this note is going to carry us into the next show and the next show and the next show. We ask now, what is next?
I can't
Right?
even think about it.
The Rock came out on Monday,
Mhm.
and he
That's a nice graphic.
it is very sexy graphic. This, it's goodness gracious. First of all, that beautiful
all
belt.
right.
Look at that
It's
thing.
all right.
That thing is absolutely gorgeous, right?
Yeah,
And
it is.
we have Cody Rhodes. We have The Rock. Cody Rhodes addresses the fans. He addresses Triple H. He has another moment, and now the journey begins. Like, one journey ends and another one begins. And The Rock came out very suspicious. He became out there very cryptic. He said some stuff that left a lot of mystery. And The Rock reached into Cody's pocket and he said, "I want to give you something." And he handed it to him and said, "You don't even have to open your hand to know exactly what that is. And I'm telling you this, don't ever break my heart again." And he said, "Cody Rhodes, The Rock has to go away for a while. You know this. But when I return, whether you have this title or not, I'm coming for you." Yes, your story, your story with Roman Reigns ended. But guess what? Your story with The Rock is just beginning. And I'm like, clearly, The Rock's not. He's still upset about this whole. First of all, he's still upset about whatever comment he made about his grandfather. So I'm like, uh-oh. Nobody knows what this means. First of all, The Rock's going to disappear, so we're not going to know. But here we go again with this Triple H does, already setting us up for what's next. That's one. Number two, we're all speculating about what's next for Roman Reigns and the bloodline. And in past, the obvious is he's going to go away. He's going to take some time off. He's going to disappear for some months at a time. He's going to show back up. And just SummerSlam or some, triumphant pay-per-view.
Oh,
and it seems that it seems that simple until at the media skirm, or whatever you want to call it, Triple H says, "You have no idea where Roman Reigns' story is going to take him now." I'm like, wait, what? There's more? And then I say, okay, that's Triple H just trying to sell us. I'm not going to pay it any mind. I'm tired. Long weekend. He's just trying to keep you hooked on. And then all of a sudden, a day later, the tribal chief Roman Reigns, he posts a very, 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 very cryptic tweet. He said, "Yesterday I mourned." He said, "Today is day one." He's on a treadmill. He smirks, and that's it, gentlemen.
Just me, Oos. They
Mm.
what?
What is going to happen next? What can we expect from Cody Rhodes as champion? What is going on between The Rock and Cody Rhodes? And where does this leave Roman Reigns? Because I assume he was just going to take vacation and get himself together and take some time off. And that doesn't seem to be the case at all. What happens next? Not to mention we have a WWE draft coming up. We have NXT call-ups coming up. We're getting more cryptic teasers about superstars debuting or re-debuting back into the WWE.
That's true.
What is going on? I am drained. This is me personally. This is the realness saying this. I am drained. It went through we had to go through all of that just to get to this point. But now, when one story ends, another one is beginning. We've been so wrapped up in one. They're not going to quit. Like Vince would just go back to the way he used to do things. Like, okay, we had our moment at WrestleMania. Let's go back to no. Triple H got that first taste of blood, and now they want more. Where do we go next? I'm nervous. What do we do? What's next for Cody Rhodes? What's next for The Rock? What's next for Roman Reigns? What's going on here? Something's going on. And they're letting us know that something's going on because they're not telling us anything, but they want us to know something here is going on.
I mean, Cody gotta be, he gotta defend the belt. Y'all wanted to see the title. Y'all wanted to see his championship title defenses. I hope he don't do no open challenge mess. But
he's going to go on his Lex Express tour. You know that, and he is not going to lose that championship until another worthy, like for instance, Roman Reigns didn't lose that championship until somebody enough made it worth it. They'd be like, okay, this has to be the guy to beat Roman because it's going to make sense. Cody Rhodes is going to be the same way. He went through all that, and you think he's going to lose that championship anytime soon? No, sir. He can't unless whoever wins or beats Cody is going to be the next up. Like he's the next main event guy that they're trying to really build. And there's only one name that I can think of, obviously, right now, that will be, because there's next up and then there's contenders. Like Shinsuke was always a contender. You know what I mean? Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, always contenders, but they weren't meant to be up next. They were guys that were viable guys, that former world champions that said, yo, I can dethrone you, and they give you good feuds. Cody's situation. The person that dethrones Cody is going to be the same thing he was. It's going to be a made man. But who is, to me, there's only one name that I can think of right now. But there's so many scenarios that we can think of. What if Roman Reigns comes back with more bloodline members? What if he decides, I want my rematch clause? When you had the belt for 1,000+ days, trust me, you're going to get your rematch clause somewhere. You know what I mean? What if we revisit this again? Like, what's next for Cody Rhodes? How's The Rock involved in this? What is next?
Right.
I don't even know.
Look, that's listen, and that's okay though. Look, brother Brandon, what's next, man? Mr. Booker, man.
I thought I wanted Gunther next, but we got to wait till after the draft. The next thing is happening is going to be the draft. When all the chips lay down, then we can have that conversation. Because right now, he already set up for a backlash, right? But the draft is going to happen. And, sometimes in the previous era, the draft or the pay-per-view would dictate what happens really next. Because they usually go hand in hand. And because they're starting on Friday and finishing it on Monday, it's going to be a thing where now we got NXT in the mix too. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it. It's going to definitely be shaking hands and kissing babies for at least the next 30 days before we really have because
legitimate contender.
You got other things that you can do. You got both sets of tag teams down that you can focus on. You got a new women's champion. You got Mommy who can do something. You got your United States champion that everybody hates, but now you got another story that you can tell. You got an Intercontinental champion that's on his celebrity run. You got a lot of things that you don't have to put him front and center. They just got to play his music. Just play his music and say, hey, everybody, I'm happy. Look, I'm Cody Rhodes. We did it. All right, goodbye.
He's going to have a very very Bret Hart-ish run. I agree with you.
for right now, until
Yeah.
it's ready for that great. Because think about it, he won the title. The next morning, he on Good Morning America. Is that what
Yeah,
he's at?
that's exactly where he was.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Suited
see
and
him on
booted.
Friday. He's gonna
Mhm.
cut another promo so they
Mhm.
can say thank you, Cody. You deserve it. He's gonna acknowledge Roman Reigns, and then Monday, I mean, it'll be the same thing. It'll be, what do you want to talk about? Just play my music, the good one.
let everybody whoa, and
Yep.
that'll be the price of admission. That's what I paid to see. Just like
Mhm.
Roman Reigns, like you paid to see Roman Reigns run his mouth, show up, put his fingers
Absolutely.
in the air, sick his cousins on everybody else, and then he wrestled weeks later at the pay-per-view. But it was worth the price of
Yep.
admission, and the numbers prove it.
Yep. It always increased every single time.
Brian H, you got anything?
Nah, man. I'm just waiting to see SmackDown to see what y'all world champion, your undisputed Universal champion got to say.
You meant to say you're world champion too, because
Yours,
Yeah.
no, that's cool. No, that's because I think you're part of this world too. So yeah, it's true. He's yours too. But but brother Brandon, I there's nothing else to say after that, man. You said it perfectly, man. I just wanted to drop it out there to see if anybody had any more energy, and everybody's like, nah, bro, we ain't doing this. We know better now. We know
I do
better.
have something though.
I noticed you had something. I was waiting for you to jump in. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan, I know you'll be happy, but we have an exclusive content right now. Boom, there it is. There it is. That's the moment. I'm sorry for the quality of it, but that's the moment when it hit.
Wait, that's not the picture I sent.
That's the
Where's
moment
picture? Where's the other
when
picture?
he realized that Cody Rhodes finished his story, and his tribal chief is going home crying. That's it right
Is
there.
that the way he laughing? Is the way he laughing?
They laughing, jerks.
Mhm.
At least watermark my TikTok at Brian H. Waters.
Hey, whatever. Don't worry about it.
Oh god.
Get extra followers.
Oh geez, that's
All right,
perfect. Oh man, sorry, Brian H.
We
But
love
you
you,
know,
bro. We love you, bro. But we had to let you know what I'm
Oh.
saying. We had to give the people what they want.
Ain't
Yes.
nobody asked for that.
Dylan did multiple times.
Dylan did. Yeah, Dylan did.
I gave Dylan
Dylan
my
said
spiel.
he needed that in his soul because all his thoughts were out of control.
Stop.
Man, we heard this song like 7,042 times.
No,
Like what,
bro,
like
Then walking out of the arena. So we walked to Chicky and Pete's and caught an Uber from there. Walking out of the stadium, somebody blasting it on their blasting in their cars. I was like, yo, it was
I ain't
worse
gonna
than
lie.
like hearing CM Punk's music back in 2012.
Yeah.
So you understand, me and he, when we found that new version, we definitely blasted every time we went somewhere.
See, look, they're just as guilty. They're part of the problem.
that new
It's a new version.
I was
That new version
it's got
is-
more metal.
yeah.
It's got a little rap verse in it too. Like
Yeah,
it's,
it does.
Make it more metal.
It's fire.
They got more eyeliner, more
There you go.
eyeliner, more spikes.
I was watching
metal.
WWE World Vlogs. 'Cause, you know, the WWE World is the real reason why I want to go to WrestleMania. Like, forget everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I need to do WWE World, and was formerly known as Access. And I was watching it, and of course, I'm watching the entrance thing, and the guy goes, "Yeah, like Cody, this is not a loop. Everybody just keeps doing Cody's entrance for the
Yo, facts.
bro." All you heard was Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley and maybe Jey Uso, but like it was all you kept hearing was adrenaline. Like every 2 seconds, I'm watching like this. Yeah, that's somebody else doing the entrance.
I
But,
heard Bloodline like Romans a couple times. Heard NWOs like once or twice. And the crazy thing is, I think back in like 2012, we kept hearing Shawn Michaels.
Yeah,
and
that's
DX.
that's what I would do. I can tell you right now.
Imagine I probably spent 4 to 6 hours a day over there
Mhm.
and hearing that music all got during day.
That's what I'm saying. Like every time, it would just start over and over again. But
Shout out to Downstate.
yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Downstate.
Even though we didn't see them, they were supposed to be
Kingdom.
there.
Now, see, that was the
Right.
swerve. They gave Roman the live musicians this time.
Yeah,
But they did give the Rhea Ripley though.
definitely.
Yeah, they're her favorite band.
Yeah,
Apparently,
the whatever Yeah,
Tuesday morning.
was better.
Yeah,
with that
Purple
intro.
Devil Group. Yeah,
It was better for him to have the regular track. I'm waiting
who
for
you talking about?
Cody.
Oh yeah, because that's the
Mhm.
one that's familiar with everybody. It's kind of like when Shinsuke, they added the Japanese rap music. I loved it, but people were in an uproar. They're like, "No, we want to hum along to the music. That's stupid."
Well,
That
the
was, that
two
was
they had to do that because he was a heel.
And
yeah,
nobody knew what they were
but
saying.
think about it. Think about it. They didn't have to do it. That was Vince doing it
Yeah.
because he was a heel and he had his old music still. Remember when he
Right.
started wearing his Oroku Saki shredder robe? I was like,
Right.
oh shit, they're gonna go back to his
Right.
old music. And I was like, oh, they didn't go back to it. They just keep it the same.
Mhm.
Come on, they're looking like Oroku
Hey,
Saki.
no way. They don't know
Oroku
who that
Saki.
is. They don't know who that is.
My fault. My bad. Sorry. It's late. It's just the shredder. Anyway. But
Before he became Shredder.
right. Oroku Saki.
That was his
Everybody, we appreciate you for hanging with us. This is a later show, and I knew it was going to be this way. And I appreciate the fellas and the brothers stick out. You guys had a long weekend. I'm proud of all the work that you guys have done. There's still so much more content that's to come from WrestleMania weekend. It's such a loaded. I just keep saying it over and over again. Such a loaded WrestleMania, man. I appreciate all you guys' hard work and also working while enjoying. You know, that was kind of vacation time for you guys to enjoy yourselves, and I'm glad you had a chance to do that. And everybody who's listening with us and hung with us tonight and put their 2 cents into the show. Follow us on all social media platforms at Wrestling Wrealm. Subscribe to Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube at The Wrestling Wrealm. Don't forget Championship Culture every Tuesday, 8 p.m. at youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm. Has the third brother Hugh, Brandon the guy, doing what they always do. Brian H. Worldwide Wednesdays, as always, doing this thing.
Yes, sir.
Hollywood. We will be back next week. Who knows what the heck is about to happen? We got to get out of here. We appreciate y'all. Happy WrestleMania weekend. All that good jazz. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. The Wrestling Room is
So
out.
sick of the color green.
No, it's that was a DX filled WrestleMania, but we're not about to get into that. It's time for Run After Dark. We'll see y'all. Peace out.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes!